Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of A Good Society, reading between the lines, reading between the lines, a lot of things between the lines, between the sheets, who knows? We're gonna go around, we're gonna say who we are and who we're playing. I'm Laugh Love Lindy and I'll be playing Imogen, the tutor, and I'm very excited about today because the next person on the overlay died. Well, no, not out of character, in character. Earl Grey died. Earl Grey died. Olivia's still fine. Yutsai is not here with us, not because he's dead, but because he had other things to do. So, someone who's also not dead would be Nagatosaurus. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm also not dead, although
Woo!
sometimes I feel like it. So at least today's not one of those days because I can play this game. I'm very excited. Hi, I'm Nagatosaurus. I will be playing Sienna, Lady Sienna Grey Renwell, as well as Saoirse. Depending on what happens, I'm not totally sure which character I'm going to be playing tonight. So maybe both. We'll see.
Maybe both. Someone who likes both would be Dimples and Dice. How are you?
Yes, I've been both
Dimples
before.
and Dice. Both
Yes.
Dimples and Dice.
Yeah. Both.
I am only dead inside. I'm Devils and Dice. You can find me around the internet as Devils and Dice. I will be playing Jamal and Shaka and maybe Lawrence, depending on how things go here. Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Wonderful. Someone who has something else, maybe, would be Snow, Lark Gloria. How are you?
I actually have died before, like medically.
You know?
Oh.
Someone
so,
who's
we
no
come
longer
around
dead.
We're
full circle. There we go.
Ish. Yes, and I'm looking forward to being here. I am not dead in either of my characters, thank goodness. With both Solange, who is the upstairs, French traveling kind of visitor. She's the outsider. And now I guess newly, I guess you can't really be widowed if you're never married in the first place.
Yeah.
Did you marry? That would be a resolve token if you were married in secret. These are just things that resolve tokens can do.
I have questions. I am scared. I have watched the stream I missed last week, and I'm scared of Trooper mostly. Down below, I'm playing Fanny Green, the parlor maid, also known as the upper household maid. She, heartbroken, confused about the whole murder thing. Now there's a whole murder thing going on. We're really lock room mysterying this, aren't we?
Something like that. Someone who was in a murder mystery with me earlier this week would have been Trooper, our facilitator. How are you tonight, my guy?
Hi. How are you? How's
Fine.
it going? I'm doing really, I'm doing it. How I'm doing is complicated and complex, like a wine that may have been poisoned by who knows, really. There's so many things that are unknown. I'm doing, it's cozy, like people under house arrest after a cozy murder. I'm doing Cheshire, like the Cheshire cat that has a smile because they know things. And I'm also doing a little damp, as if I've been through the rain, sleet, and snow with special letters that may have gotten lost on the way from point A to point B that were given to me by somebody who may be dead. I wouldn't worry about it. And, I just have lots of, secrets. I'm also doing, I'm full of secrets that have been given to me by players. And those secrets give me joy. And knowing them also I'm doing well. Yeah. Yeah. Especially because I'm now with you all here today.
Aw, shucks.
In this moment. Let me see. I was just trying to find a name because I was looking for it.
Find it?
There it is. Yeah, I did.
Huzzah.
Yes. I was just looking for the name of the Lord High Sheriff.
Oh, yes.
Because I don't want to give a fake name for the Lord High Sheriff. I need the actual.
That'd be terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how's it going?
Good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone's
Are
under
we?
house
Are we?
arrest.
Well, why don't we, if it's okay with you all, why don't we begin? If you're good?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
This
Okay.
seems as good as time as any.
As good as time as any. Audience, my dearest audience, players, you don't need to listen to this because, I'm not going to give any clues or anything like that. But my dearest audience out there, welcome to Reading Between the Lines, which is our Good Society campaign using the Downstairs at the Abbey playset expansion, wherein our players play both an upstairs and a downstairs character. We are currently in cycle 2, I believe. Yes? Yes?
Yes.
Cycle 2. Yes. We're in cycle 2. The second half of cycle 2. In the first half of cycle 2, I feel like our players didn't even announce who they were. That's fine. We have this wonderful estate, Blossomfall Park, which is over in Berkshire County. And we have a slightly complicated situation. We have the very ancient and noble Gray family. The nobles who have ruled this area for generations, for centuries. Huge, sort of influential folks. But unbeknownst to the people of the area and to anyone else, during the Jacobite revolutions, the servants took, which was like, 60 years ago, 50 years ago, about 70 years ago, the last one, then the big rebellions, uprisings. The servants of this place took the opportunity to murder the nobles and then impersonate them. And so for the last 70 years or so, the Gray family is actually the former butler of the actual Gray family. And they have sort of taken over and ruled the estate as the actual Grays. And in the process of this, they seized certain lands that had been public for various reasons. Nobody really knows. And a lot of complicated things happened over the time period. The estate was previously, until just like very recently, run by Lord Earl Grey, who Earl Grey, the Earl of Blossomfall Park, who had this heavy burden of running this household, and he seemed to have his wife. He had twins, a twin boy and a twin girl, and his wife, who gave birth to those twins, died, as well as the male heir died. The twin boy died, not exactly in childbirth, but a little bit after childbirth of some kind of strange wasting disease that sort of came upon suddenly. Everyone believes that, well, not everyone, some people, there is rumor that he poisoned them because he's a mad, cruel person. That's what they say, that it might have been a little bit cruel. And I don't know why anyone would think that of him. Well, he did write letters on he did change the will at the very last minute to give everybody like 4 cents and ruin them and call them terrible, horrible names and make them feel really bad about themselves and then laugh,
Yeah.
and then raised all of the taxes so that the people of the town sort of hate him too, and said he's going to use all of it for his like partying before he dies because he was kind of
He
sick.
didn't get so much partying, did he?
No, because he died mysteriously, probably murder. And everybody's now under house arrest because he died mysteriously after telling somebody, his lawyer. He gave his lawyer a lot of really important letters and the name of the person who he thinks would have murdered him were there to be a murder. And the lawyer left. So who knows where the lawyer is right now? Let's hope the lawyer got home to London. Anyway, we also at this moment have escaped from the dungeon, who'd been there for at least 10 years. The male heir, probably, of the Grey family, of the actual original Grey family, the real nobles, who has now made a friend with Sebastian Renwell, the grandson of the now deceased Earl Grey. and everybody's having feelings at the moment. At the moment, everyone's having feelings. We would start with our second novel chapter, but before we can do that, we have some logistics to take care of. Yes. So we had two characters who used to have desires, and those desires had something to do with, well, you know what? Why don't you all share what your previous desires had been, Imogen and also Jamal?
Oh, we had the same one, funnily enough.
Mm, mm.
It was to be publicly acknowledged as a child of Earl Grey.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're both the child of Earl Grey?
Yeah. And got around.
Mm,
Seem.
mhm, mm. Well, were you then acknowledged at all?
No, not at all.
Mm.
In fact, he didn't even know about Jamal, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty
Jamal,
sure
did
he
you
did not know.
Did you have a chance to? Did you have a chance to talk to your father before you died?
Imogen did a
Uh, Jamal, how
Yeah,
about
I
you?
basically called him a mean bastard, but I
Mhm,
respected him
mhm,
being a mean bastard. And then he was dead.
mhm.
I
Did
told him
you
I didn't
not
wish
get a
him dead.
letter? Did you not get a letter saying that you should kill him?
I mean, that wasn't really Jamal's job.
I didn't.
Uh-huh. hmm
Outsourced.
Hey, outsourced. I have a question for you. Well, you know what? I have questions for many people, but I feel like I should not ask these instigating questions just yet. So we should do the logistics before I ask the instigating. Nah, I'm gonna ask this one now. Hey, would you, Prince,
Yes.
would you like a resolve token?
For
Okay, what would happen if that letter saying that you should murder the Earl got in the hands of someone else?
Like the investigative sheriff or something.
Mm-hmm.
well, I think they'd still have to prove that Jamal had anything to do with it. Because
I
it's
know,
just a
but it would,
letter as far as he's concerned.
as far as he's concerned, but it would look real bad.
It'd look real bad, but you know what? This is the one time I will have to turn this down because of the card that I just picked up. This would fuck up what I would intend to accomplish.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm going to take that as a segue.
Uh-huh.
So, since both of them had the desire to have their father acknowledge them, sadly, their father has died under suspicious circumstances, so those desires will never be able to be fulfilled ever.
Never.
Your greatest
Indeed.
heart's desires
Sad.
always
Okay.
thwarted. But they have to get new desires that they are hoping to fulfill, and I gave them some choices, and they have chosen new desires. If you might, could you read the public face of your desire for us all to know it? And then if there's anything you need to establish in the universe, let us know what that is so that we can then do so. Prince, you first.
Let's see.
And by the way, you can
Yes.
drag your the desires you don't want, drag them to the playmat and then delete them.
Okay.
So you don't have like 1,000 desires hanging out.
So my desire's public side is marriage is indeed a maneuvering business.
Interesting. All right. Is there anything you need to establish with that?
The only thing it asks me to establish is creating a parent as a mandatory connection.
I believe your mother is in town and probably on her way to the estate.
Yes. So we've already
any
sort of
moment.
established this as it happens.
Excellent. Great. Do we have, I don't know if I have your mother's name.
I did
Let
not
me
come up with a
see.
name for her, but I can if need be.
Jamal's mother is in London. Oh, that's what I wrote down. Yeah. But I did not write. If you would give me a name for your mother, that would be lovely.
Sure, give me a moment.
Anytime. Lindy, what is the
Hi.
public facing of your new desire?
I decided, based off of the conversation with my with one of my half sisters, both of whom are played by Nugget, um, to choose the selfish desire rather than the selfless desire. Partially because I don't know some stuff going on in character. So, my card, funnily enough, says selfishness must always be forgiven. You know, because there is no hope of a cure.
Oh my. Is there anything you need to establish with that new desire?
Not yet.
I see. Excellent. Well, wonderful.
There will be, but not yet.
Fine. So, my friends and dear gentles, it is with this moment that I must say to you all that it is time for our second novel phase, cycle 2. Some things to establish. We will be doing visitations. I'm going to go around and ask each one of you if you have a visitation you would like to have. And you may have a visitation with either your upstairs or your downstairs character, with whomever you wish. I get to go first, though. Yes.
Can you have a visitation with more than one person? Like, can you have 2 people?
If you can bring them both together, absolutely, yes.
Wonderful.
But if it's like the entire group,
no,
then
no,
it's
no,
enough.
no, just
Then
like
it's an
just
event.
like 2
Yeah, yeah.
people with
Sure.
me.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
not now,
Mhm,
but
mhm,
later.
mhm.
Well, thank you.
Mhm, mhm.
Love it.
So I'm going to go first. Are you ready?
We have to be. There's no hope. There's no choice. We'll endure.
I need something.
Oh
I
no,
hope
you're
this
gonna.
is
These are gonna
good.
be interrogations, aren't they? Where were you
Well,
on the moment Count Earl Grey died? Where's your alibi?
I
My
mean,
suspicion. Carry on.
I don't know why you'd be suspicious of those things. So let me start with the first one, my
Oh,
first visitation.
sure.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I've got the name. Thank you. And I have more than one visitation to do, just
No.
before
Really?
we'll just yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
shocked.
I know. So the first one, I really need yeah, what I really want is fire and brimstone, but I think I might have it. Will this be good for me? Let's see. Or it might be this one. Hold on. Let me see. No.
I'd
No.
also like to remind you that you are sharing audio through Zoom as well.
No. Let me stop that. Where'd it go? Stop. No more. Stop screen share. I just want to stop.
I might be able
I
to force
shouldn't
stop
be.
it.
Or stop it, because I don't want to anymore.
Sure.
Oh. No, I stopped sharing, so I'm not sharing.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Now you stopped.
This quick visitation does not involve any of you.
Oh.
Yeah. In the town of Lower Blossomfall Park, messages have been posted of the taxes. And people in Lower Blossomfall Park are grumbling. Farmers with pitchforks seeing what is there and are upset. And then a woman rushes out and she says, Has anyone seen my son? Has anyone seen my son? Anyone? Like, no, Goody, I haven't seen your son. What do you mean? He's been missing for 2 days. And then 2 men come forward carrying his body. He has been run down, murdered. And they look at this body, and an old woman steps forward and says, "Damn that Earl Grey. We knew, or we suspected, that he was a murderous villain in his youth. The murders stopping when he traveled abroad. Returning briefly, he thought that once he got older, he would stop murdering us like animals. It seems as if in his last moments before he died, he killed one last one of us. We can't stand for these Greys to be in power any longer. We have to do something. We don't need to stand for this. No, we don't. We don't need to stand for this at all. We should burn it all down. Yes, burn it all down. Every single one of them. They're all wicked." And as the villagers mumble and grumble, as the broken body of a young lad murdered not too long ago, they believe the last act of the evil Earl Grey, tempers get higher and higher and higher. The village itself is on the precipice of rebellion due to the cruelty of Earl Grey. After all, we know he's a murderer. He killed his wife and his son. He did, he did. He killed them. We all know it. As they agitate, I will now just take my second visitation. Solange, you have been called into one of the drawing rooms.
Yes. I'm assuming she has gathered what's happened by this point.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, she will. I have a question. Who is
Oh,
requesting
yes.
her?
Ah, that's such a great question. The Lord Lieutenant, the Lord Lieutenant of Berkshire, who is also with the High Sheriff. So these are the Earl has the power of law enforcement within his county, because he's the Earl, but he's dead now. But he does have lieutenants that sort of carry out justice under his name. And this would be them, the High Sheriff of Berkshire and the Lord Lieutenant of Berkshire. The High Sheriff, the Lord Lieutenant being Lord Jacob Pladel Bovary, the second Earl of Radnor, and the High Sheriff that's a lifetime appointment, but the High Sheriff is appointed on an annual basis, and the current High Sheriff is Robert Palmer of Home Park. And these two gentlemen have requested your presence.
I see. So she will arrive 10 minutes later because she's probably asked Sorsha to help her find the darkest clothes she does have, because I don't think she was preparing to wear black today or in her stay here in general. So plainer clothing. We're in Regency era. I need to change the
Yes.
clothes.
Basically.
I need
Yes,
one.
yes.
And it's gonna be plainer, more diminutive. I'm gonna place a little like a sad veil.
Before you arrive, I just want to know how you two are talking amongst yourselves, Saoirse and our dear foreigner from a different country.
Yeah, I mean, Solange is mostly like sitting rather pensive looking, and rather than like all like excited or talking about something, whatever's on her mind at the time, she looks very deep in thought. And she does occasionally kind of look up at Sorsha and just, I hope you know, no matter what happens, I will make sure you are paid well.
Oh, that's quite nice of you, my lady, but unfortunately, I don't think my position is your worries right now, so um, let's just focus on you at the moment and we'll worry about me later. You don't have anything black, unfortunately. You do got like this little midnight blue here. That might work. It's a little bit fancier than your other stuff, but it's the darkest color you've got.
Yes, it is, isn't it? I was hoping not to wear this until much later, but it will do.
It, if you don't mind me asking, and please feel free to tell me to stop talking because I know it's not my place, but I didn't think you and the Earl were in love. I understand, it's sad he died, but I haven't heard very nice things about him at the end.
He was a good host to me. Temperate, well-mannered, educated. And above all, he helped me in a time of need. I respected him. It is a shame, it seems, that our families will not be helping each other, but I am young. I assume my aunt will have another setup for me.
I
May I ask you a question? Did you secretly marry him? I just wanted to know.
I don't think so, because
I was just
the
curious.
I think it wasn't really much of a, I think it was more of a pomp and circumstance kind of thing.
Yes.
And it was
yes.
very much a political alliance.
Yeah.
She brings in the continental and the old
Yeah,
blood.
yeah.
He brings in
Yeah.
the green card.
Yeah. Are you gonna lie about having been secretly married to him?
No.
I'm just also asking that one. I'm just asking. I just wanted to know.
No, I will
Okay.
say, without going into a monologue, that she is currently thinking about her next marriage.
Hmm.
That's all I wanted to know. Go on. Continue on. Just wanted to ask.
Family does have a habit of arranging our affairs for us.
Yes. It is our duty to marry well and according to our station. I do regret one thing, though, that he passed thinking everyone was out to, well, use him. I do not think that use is a bad thing. When it is mutual, it's a partnership.
Aye, mutually beneficial. You get something out of it, I get something out of it. I think
Yes.
honestly all transactions are like that these days.
So, it is a shame he died feeling used. When he could have used us more, relied on us, relied
Aye.
on me.
It is a shame that he was alone. It's a sad day when anybody dies.
Yes. Well, it is time to look more sad.
Well, I would like to just say that your wedding dress was beautiful. I was just finishing up with it, so
Oh, thank you. Well,
maybe one day you'll get to wear it.
maybe, and hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon, aye. And since you did mention employment, if you wouldn't mind just keeping me in mind, just keeping me in mind if situations change. I do quite enjoy working for you. You're probably the nicest person I've ever worked for, so
Oh,
pardon me speaking out of turn, but it's the truth.
no. Other than Jamal, you're the nicest one here to me. So, of course, Though I'm not sure where I'll be going. You see, it's France is not home until that dog Napoleon's head kisses a guillotine. But
I
I am going. I do have a home back in Prussia with my aunt. If you ever want to join me,
will
I
definitely
would
keep
love
that in
that.
mind. As would I. As would I. And then I think she just goes and gets her ready and makes her look very sad.
Yes,
And
yes. Now, please don't make me smile. I must look sad.
You are delivered to the drawing room,
Mhm.
where stands 2 men. And we would have to have another woman in the room for propriety's sake.
Mhm.
It would probably have to be, well, it would have to be your lady's maid. That would only be appropriate. She would
Mhm.
have to join you, but be invisible in the background because,
Per usual.
you know,
Mhm.
Yep.
servants. But you know, these 2 men stand and they give you a bow and they gesture for you to sit.
Yeah, I do. I do grab a seat. Dab at my my artfully tear-stained face a little underneath the veil.
Count Damon, you are also invited to just
Oh, wonderful.
take notes, as
Hmm.
it were. You know what I mean?
I
Just
will
to be
take all of the notes.
it's just watch. And
Of course,
the
of course.
Lord
Mm.
Lieutenant takes the forward, right? And you've got the High Sheriff behind, and the Lord Lieutenant says, Lady Solange, it is under such terrible circumstances that we come to meet with you today, and I'm so sorry about the sudden death of your fiancé. How are you feeling? And he hands over a handkerchief for you.
Oh, thank you. I didn't realize mine was already so unusable.
Yes.
I am doing as I can. It is good there's a place to pray here.
Lady Solange, if I may, I have a few questions to ask you. We have some details we would like to pin down, if you do not mind.
Of course.
As you know, your husband was found dead. His body has been removed and brought to Reading for examination and safekeeping.
Already? Not even a
Yes.
chance to say goodbye.
I'm afraid not.
Oh,
If you might, we have heard from our good Count here that there was a change in the will before he died.
yes. I have heard. I was not there for the reading, but I have heard.
Oh, you were there.
Oh,
You were just
I
in the
was-
room. Yeah.
Yes, I have.
You're just very
I've
got to-
heard.
quiet the whole
Mhm.
time.
Yeah, you were just very quiet because it was shocking, you know.
Yeah, it was. I have
Yes.
heard.
Yes. Well, what we have heard is that he said some ungentlemanly things.
Is that so?
That must have upset you greatly.
He was a lonely man.
We know that women are the fairer sex, not prone to rage. But you are a hot-blooded continental. Were you perhaps enraged by the things he said?
I was sad.
Hmm.
Deeply
You
saddened.
were not enraged enough to perhaps do something rash?
I do not like what you're implying.
Like break a vase, for instance.
Yes. We have seen broken vases about the estate.
That would not be me.
Hmm.
I am
Break a
not the
vase.
sort to allow my temper to be outletted in such uncouth ways. We have horses here to ride, embroidery, many
Yes.
ways, as you know, many
Yes.
passions.
Lady Solange, let me ask you this.
Mm.
It seems you are devoted, or were devoted to the Earl. Is that so?
He helped me in a time of need. Yes.
How much did you help him? Did you help him by sending letters from him to any foreign powers?
No, I took over the duties of a lady wife, as I should. I helped look over the staff, redecorated to maintain their reputation. Though that was not the most appreciated of my doings.
I see. Let me ask you this. In how much confidence did your fiancé keep you? Do you know of his activities and plans? Were you aware of the things he did? Did you help him with his activities?
What activities?
Any activities, milady?
We would spend time at dinner, sometimes discussing household affairs. But we had a cordial relationship, if distant. He was old enough to be my grandfather, you know. There's not much to talk about.
Let me see. So you are not aware of any... Let me ask you this way, milady Massange. If your husband had done something untoward,
To me?
perhaps vicious, would you cover over his reputation, protect it?
It depends on what he did. Wouldn't it? If it was
would.
something like being rude to a servant, that could be spoken up to and dealt with privately. Now, if it was a matter of honor,
Mhm.
I am a Montfort, monsieur.
So you're saying if your husband were engaged in treason or other despicable crimes, you would not have kept silent?
It is funny that the English speak of treason when I have been born to treason, to the results of it. You speak of something that you have not seen yet. I was born to la terreur. I would never condone it.
Very well. Milady, I hope I do not offend your delicate sensibility by asking such questions, but there are very serious matters
Very serious.
at foot here on the estate. Very serious indeed, my count.
I
We must
find
ask.
it curious why you would ask me such invasive and rude questions on the day that my fiancé was killed.
More than one person has been killed in this county, milady.
More than... Mon Dieu.
Yes. Let me ask you one final question before I allow you about your business. Of course, you're still under house arrest, but were your fiancé to be, were his death to be less than natural, who would you suspect as the one to profit most from his death? Count.
Before or after the will reading?
Both, if they are different.
I ask you to look at common sense for before the will. as you understand natural succession, no? But
Yes,
after
indeed.
the will, there's no one who profits from its death except himself.
No one who might have been exceptionally angry.
You know, the ancient philosophers considered anger to be away from reason. It is madness. Madness does not profit anyone.
I see. Milady Solange, we would like to thank you for gracing us with your pleasure for this brief conversation. When all of our investigations are done and the house arrest has been lifted, you, of course, will be allowed to see the body of your fiancée. I have heard from the Lord High Sheriff that your aunt should be arriving. She's on her way from Reading now, should be arriving here any moment. And I'm sure she'll be a great comfort for you in this time of
Yes,
difficulty.
she will be. Though I must ask, will she be endured to the same humiliation I have just sat through?
Well, she was not here during the time of murder, so I imagine not.
Excellent. Because my aunt's dignity is at stake here if you were to treat her like you have me.
Well, please remember always that you are a guest in our country.
And I am still of nobility, monsieur. I expect to be treated as such.
Indeed. Now, milady, if you hear anything that might give us new information about this terrible affair, I trust that you would give this information to representatives of the crown.
Of course. It is only just.
Good. And please, be careful. Although I imagine with the Earl no longer with us, you're probably safe.
I do not like your implications. Good day, sir.
And they stand, as is polite. And as the door shuts, you could hear the Lord Lieutenant say, Count Williams. This
Yes.
is terrible business, isn't it? Terrible business.
Just awful. Take an appropriate note.
Oh, yes. Treason. And the door sort of shuts.
Awful business.
Who's next for their visitation?
Ooh.
I mean, you can bring it back anytime you want.
I
Because you'll need
can.
it.
I will need it. I've got it up, but you don't want it
Oh, good.
on right now. It's
Yeah,
itchy,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah. So that was my first visitation. Who has one they would like to do?
Tempted.
Well, some people are having a pleasant conversation, with the Lord Lieutenant and the High Sheriff.
But well, since no one seems to be jumping up at it, could I get Lady Sienna and Lord Sebastian?
Where does this take place?
I'd like to imagine that in Lady Sienna's room, maybe, or her sitting room, somewhere private, especially since it's crawling with
Yes.
investigators right now.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, she would have like her own parlor, sitting room kind of thing.
She's like a very large section of wing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like half a wing to myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Please.
Thank you for taking the time to make an appointment with me, Sienna.
Yes, of course. I understand it's urgent, you said?
Perhaps a bit, considering the circumstances. I was wanting to have this conversation at some point, but little things have gotten a bit interesting lately.
You could say, yes.
I was wondering how much the two of you knew of their family.
History? What do you mean?
How did the... It's awkward. Yeah, the history of the past 100 years or so?
I know my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather. I don't
Yes,
understand.
we know the family tree.
Do you know how they came into power?
The Greys have always been in power here.
Okay.
We've just inherited as far back as we know.
So that is not entirely true. Done a lot of research, you could say, recently into the Grey family, and during the Jacobite rebellions, so, the Grey family was usurped by their staff, their house, and replaced, and they also called themselves the Grey.
Excuse me?
There's a cemetery on the grounds. They discovered it on one of my books. The dates go back much farther than the Grey Cemetery by the house.
Yes, because Greys are buried in there.
But they're separated, segregated.
They probably ran out of room.
There's still a lot of room. It's practically in the woods. You can always cut. There's a the original Grey family isn't completely dead. There was a survivor.
What are you getting at?
Do you have any proof of these claims other than some graves?
There's supposed to be some paperwork. I believe Earl Grey.
Supposed to be.
I believe Earl Grey would have had it. Seems to be... The knowledge seems to be kept hush except for being passed on to... of the Grey family.
I have no such papers or anything like that.
And you were not written as successor in his will.
No one is.
It's a bit of a problem.
I'm
Why?
honestly not sure what to believe at this moment.
What I'm saying is the survivors, the ancestors of the survivor of the original Grey family, may have been to kill Earl Grey. Did not die.
Imogen, why are you telling us this? What Bennett? If this is to be true, let's go off the assumption that maybe in some world that is the case. What does it have to do with you?
Yes, what are you doing looking into Grey family history?
Very long sip of tea. Try the room a little bit. Well, first of all, I am a bit concerned about... She looks at Sebastian and the two of you having been related to Earl Grey, someone murderous on the loose.
I can take care of myself.
And there should be no problem now, considering neither of us are to inherit anything.
Exactly.
Secondly,
Sebastian says that with gritting teeth.
Uh-huh.
And doesn't out of character, doesn't Sebastian know all of this already?
Uh-huh.
Wasn't he told all of
He
it?
sure
Okay.
does.
Just making sure I wasn't crazy.
You don't know he knows it.
No,
But we don't know he
he's-
knows.
Right,
because he doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
told his
yeah,
mom
I-
about this.
I get you. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Just a side note, I thought I'd just bring this up
Yeah.
because I feel like at least Sienna might recognize this. If these charges are true, that's treason. That's a
Yeah.
hanging offense.
Yeah.
So it's not the kind of thing that would be, I mean, really kind of depends about succession, right? If you were then to become the new Countess Grey, you would then be on the hook for that. Or if your son became the new Earl Grey, he would be on the hook for that treason, and y'all would probably be prosecuted for high crimes.
Yeah. Despite not even
Just-
being alive at that time.
Yeah, because, you know,
Justice.
nobility.
Yay.
Justice!
Yeah.
Also, nobles really don't really, let me put it this way.
It's about
the
setting a
idea of
precedent. You know?
It's about setting a
Yeah.
precedent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Making an example. Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah. So that's just a thing to ponder about what you want to do
Right.
about what happened with your dad.
Right.
Go on. Just little thing about how like you have some authorities here.
This is why we
and-
have to get my uncle back
Uh-huh.
into the game.
Sure we do. That would be
Mhm.
great.
Continue on. I
Mhm.
just want to put that out there for
Yeah.
you.
I appreciate your concern, but if that is true, it's treason.
It is. Which is why I was hoping that neither of you stop any of it.
Well,
So
I
what
know
are we
nothing
supposed to
of
do,
any of this.
leave?
Well, none of us can leave right now, darling.
I
Oh, stress.
understand this, Mother.
Put the success. If you have any sway, put the succession on someone else. Yourselves.
You were at the will reading, darling. I have no say in anything. I'm not even a Grey anymore.
No, but you are a Renwell, and you are thus or
Mm-hmm.
nobility, at least. But so when it comes
And
to
I am
the
a
High Sheriff,
disappointment.
when it comes to the High Sheriff and the other lords in the area, a decision will need to be reached at some point as to who will get the Grey estate. Your voices will have some power.
I'm a woman. My voice has no power.
I'll speak for your mother.
Thank you, darling.
Imogen, I still don't understand what this has to do with you.
Well, your grandfather really seemed to not want it getting out, but he's dead now. So, suppose I should just tell you. I never thought I'd have to. She doesn't look at Sebastian for this. She just looks at Sienna and she goes, Lady Sienna, well, we are related.
I beg your pardon.
Your father was also my father.
What?
Again, what proof do you have of this?
Oh, well, my mother has, she has a photograph. It's sent to Earl Grey, to announce my presence. Well, a portrait. And they met at some party, 1819. And, well, they really hit it off. My mother's still.
Excuse me, I just dropped something.
Oops.
I'm sorry. I just dropped this
Is it
monologue
a
token.
monologue token? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just dropped this monologue token.
For Sienna?
It's just one of those things where I'm
Oops.
looking right here, and what I'm seeing is that Sienna has not yet given a
Monologued.
monologue, and I would really like to
Yeah.
know what she's thinking right about now. And this monologue token comes courtesy your dead father.
My dead father. Fantastic. Okay.
Mhm, 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 mhm,
I
mhm,
think
mhm.
there's, when you're overstimulated and you kind of just hear static in your brain.
Here's some great family history. By the way, we're half sisters.
By the way, we're half sisters. By the way, I have no proof of any of this, so great.
Well, there's
I want to smash my aunt?
you do, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why
Yeah.
Imogen's
Yeah.
not looking at you.
But you're close in age, so that's
How very Targaryen of you.
half aunt, half aunt.
yeah.
Yeah,
makes
not
it
full.
way better.
Not a, well,
Yeah.
full-blooded aunt is a little worse.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
I think in this moment, Sienna she's mad, like mad, like
Mm-hmm.
like suppressed woman mad.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And just my entire fucking life, I did every single thing that fucking man asked of me. I married Silas. I moved to fucking India. I came back to care for him when he told me he was sick, only to find out that he married or not married, intended to marry some fucking foreigner to have her take care of him. I don't understand what the fuck that was about. And then, how long ago did he die? 3 days? 2 days?
About
2 days.
2 days, let's say.
And then writes me out of the will, calls me a fucking disappointment after every single thing I've ever fucking done in my entire life has been for him because he asked it of me. Then this motherfucker dies. And now all of a sudden, we're not really Greys. We're traitors to the crown. I have a sister, but still a sister. If he wasn't dead already, I'd kill him. And that's what she's thinking right now.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that Lady Sienna's inside voice is less ladylike than her outside voice.
Oh,
Love it.
very, very much so.
What ladies is it?
Continue
you
on.
know?
I know, right? Continue.
Do you have this picture, Imogen?
It was given to Earl Grey. Assuming he didn't burn it outright, it should be office, I would.
You
My mother
you
has
let
another
me
go.
send you those letters? You didn't tell me anything and you knew this?
What? What letters?
The reason I hadn't responded, Sebastian, was because I was desperately hoping that your grandfather would acknowledge me and let that be how the news comes out, not me having to show up with very little proof or evidence.
None, for that matter.
You could have.
And she looks
Lie.
genuinely, like, a little heartbroken.
You lied to me, and you don't have to say anything to lie. You can lie by omission. And Sebastian just gets up, slams the door behind him, and walks out as he walks out. Like that rattling shake of a slam of the door.
Sebastian wouldn't see it, but Imogen would see that Sienna flinches rather violently at the slamming of the door.
Oh. Just refill your cup of tea, because I don't know how to comfort you in a situation. I'll just refill your tea for you. That's,
Yeah. I hope you understand. I'm not quite sure what to believe at the moment,
Understandably so.
considering there is no proof of either matter besides a graveyard and a supposed picture. If
I
Go
don't know
ahead.
if you heard about a prisoner that escaped recently. That's gossip all around the house at this point.
What? Have I heard about this? Would Sienna have heard about
Yeah,
this?
because Fanny told you.
Fanny told me, that's right. Okay, yeah. I did hear something about apparently a dungeon.
Apparently the prisoner's name was Heathcliff.
Does that ring any bells? No?
No. Mm-mm.
No.
From the
Okay.
other Grey family.
Supposedly.
I'm just going to tell you everything. Bastion had sent me a couple of confessions in a note. And I couldn't let it go on any longer knowing that I was his
Right. That's why you couldn't let
hi.
it go on.
Hi, I really hate to bother you right now.
Hi.
I don't mean to
You want a resolve
interrupt.
token?
I
Who?
do. No, I'm just noting that there is this rumor here
Yeah.
about Imogen and Sebastian having an affair.
There is.
That is a rumor that has been spread, and I feel
It's true.
like it might be very spicy, dearest Lady Sienna, if you had heard that rumor and you do believe that to be the truth, and this causes some trouble. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I'm okay with that.
Imogen,
I'm fine. That's fine.
excellent. The rumor is out there, and also
It's the rumor's
you
out
know,
there. I mean, come on.
it is out there.
And it is spread in
It
the
is out
upstairs
there.
specifically. So
And yeah.
not the downstairs, but the
It's-
upstairs. So
Yeah. It's not yet going to cause all the big trouble, but I just need you to know that it is spread, that you've heard it.
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
you didn't believe it, but maybe now you do, especially
Now,
after your son
yeah. Slammed.
noting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
From what I understand, you had no problem encouraging anything.
well, I don't know exactly what it is the rumors have said. I have done nothing. Perhaps by doing nothing, that would have been seen as an. But I did neither encourage, admittedly, nor dissuade. It's nice not having a family member. Even if it was further wrong.
I think not Saoirse, fucking so many S's. Sienna, you see like a look of like, shit, I understand that on her
Uh-huh.
face, but she doesn't say anything.
Uh-huh.
If all of this is true, I would not stand in the way of making things right. If it's not, and this is some plot to take advantage of my father's death, as much of a as bastard as he was, I would like you to know very clearly, I will ruin you.
Understood. Lady Sienna. Much
Good.
as an ass as your father was.
That we can agree on.
I did not wish his death.
I did. I won't deny it. After
Yes.
everything I'd done.
Should keep that in mind. A small part of me wished for him to actually acknowledge me. So, seeing as how relationship with you would be grateful that he had not dragged my hopes on.
And perhaps it's a good thing, as you said, he did not have the opportunity to crush them. Too much, at least.
Nothing I'm not used to. My mother's also kind of a witch.
I understand mothers can be like that. I never knew my mother, but I understand how they
She
can
was
be.
anything like mine, you're not missing out. So,
Perhaps it's a good thing I'll never know.
I bear you and Sebastian absolutely. Just everything that's been going on and things getting more strange, I at least wanted you both to be.
I do appreciate that. It's a lot to take in.
Understandably so.
Finding out you've been lied to your entire life about numerous things, apparently, is frustrating. And I think like she's got her tea, like a little saucer and like her cup, and I think that the china just creaks the slightest bit in her hand.
Oh, yeah. I know that creek you're talking about, yeah?
Yeah.
Those
yeah.
welding points. You're just like,
just straining a little bit. There's a lot of pent up rage in Sienna, and I feel like Imogen can probably see that. Not many people do, but I feel like Imogen can probably see that there.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't think Sienna has much to say unless Imogen has something after that. But
I should just say, I thank you for your time again, and I will leave you alone to process some things. If you need anything, talk about anything, please don't hesitate to.
I do appreciate it, and while it won't be anytime soon, the feeling is mutual. Don't come to me for maybe a week or so while I stew, but after that,
But that's absolutely necessary. I disturb you.
all right. Thank you.
She'll curtsy.
Which means it's my
It is your turn.
visitation. Lady
Who's it gonna be?
Sienna Grey Renwell, the Baroness,
Ooh.
has been requested to visit the Lord Lieutenant of Berkshire, the High Sheriff of
I need my
Berkshire,
beard back.
and Count Damon Williams, the representative of the Crown.
Who's
And
the one
house
who
guest.
overheard, right? Yeah,
Many
he overheard.
things.
Okay,
I
Sebastian
sure
and I.
did.
Oh yeah, he's been overhearing basically everything for
Everything.
months and
Yeah,
months
everything.
and months.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Sienna is very
And-
prompt.
Like I need an ascot.
And before you walk in there, please note, if they find out what happened, that could be really bad for your son and you,
Yes.
but especially
Yes.
your son. Just and I know it is what Imogen wants, but I'm gonna just note that probably real bad for you all. Anyway.
Yes. Sienna is very prompt. She arrives, exactly when instructed. She is wearing black, but she doesn't look too torn up.
Tuck this in.
Baroness, please have a seat. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank
We
you.
do have a few questions for you.
I might have a few answers.
Ah, well, that is very good to hear. We hope that you will be cooperative in our investigation.
Of course, anything to help.
Milady, you are an English rose. We do appreciate your patriotism and your presence here as a good, noble woman. But you must forgive us that we're going to have to ask you some difficult questions that may ruffle your sensibilities, but it is what we must do to come to the truth of what has happened here.
Of course, I understand, and ask away.
The first question we must ask is, I'm sorry that you were not able to see your father's body. That is the first thing we must say. But it had to be removed before it could be tampered with. You see, there has been quite a bit of unusual activity on this estate, and thanks to our count here, the Crown has been apprised of such things, and so we had to make sure that everything would be on the up and up, if you understand.
Of course, must do what we must do.
Yes, I must say, as the daughter of the Earl Grey, it must be said that your father's death was not natural. He did not die of natural causes, and he just holds out a handkerchief just in case you faint, just in case, because, right there, that was very...
Yeah,
It's a
there's
lot.
a lot. Yeah. I think Sienna accepts the handkerchief as a lady should, but doesn't use it. I'm sorry. Are you saying you think he was? And she lowers her voice. Murdered.
And as the secret word, it's a scandalous thing for people of breeding and
To
class,
say,
as all of
yeah.
you want to say out loud. Yes, I'm afraid so. I'm afraid he was.
Oh,
Now,
all right.
I'm going to have to ask you some difficult questions now.
Of course.
And please note, it pains me overly so to do so.
Thank you, sir.
It has been said to me, and also to the High Sheriff, that you have had some harsh responses to your father cutting you out of the will.
Fairfield.
Yes, I don't deny it. I was understandably upset.
Indeed. Were you upset enough, milady, and I'm going to just ask you outright, to kill him?
I think she, like, as she's asked that, you see, like, a bit of shock on her face. Just like, I can't believe you actually think I did it kind of thing.
And please note, he looks, there's this kind of a, his emotions are a little bit weird to read because there is something weird about the way he's asking you this. On the one hand, you would expect that he might be embarrassed to ask a lady this question, which he sort of is. On the one hand, you might think, oh, he's asking because he's supposed to, but he's expecting some sort of answer, but the vibe is weird, right?
Okay.
It's not like you're not getting what you're not getting is he wants to catch a criminal, right? Like there's something
Yeah.
in there, but it's not necessarily that. But it does seem as if he is
He's expecting something.
Yes, perhaps he's hoping for you to say yes, but not necessarily because he wants to catch a criminal. Although that would mean that he is catching a criminal, but it's there's something weird going on there, is what I will say.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, if tell me, Damien, what's Damien's title again?
Count Williams.
Count.
Yes, that's
Well-
Count Williams. I've got a fluffy ascot now.
Yeah.
So, well tied.
Wh-
Well tied,
Thank
Count.
you. No one will hate me.
Well, I do believe the Count may know. I did not have kind words to my father when he did his changing of the will.
Oh,
No, and I did tell him that I wished he had died soon.
oh,
I was
good.
tired of
Yes,
his
we've heard that.
presence.
You've
Yes,
heard
I
that
will
as
not-
well.
I will not deny that. It was said in anger. But
Mm.
for as much as he, I feel, wronged me in the end, I did not murder him. I've never murdered anyone, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, she's.
And I did not wish him dead any sooner than he deserved to be, because honestly, and please forgive me, this is very unladylike of me. He was sick, and I wished for him to suffer.
Lady Sita, I'm going to ask you a second set, a second set of questions on a different direction.
Of course.
And then we'll have to circle back to this one.
Of course.
You have here in this room, in front of witnesses, claimed that you did not wish him dead, that you did not murder him.
Yes.
Perhaps at the end of this conversation, you may change your statement and admit to murdering him, but that will be for step 3. Step 2. Were you in his confidence? If you did
No.
not wish him ill, were you in his confidence?
No. My father told
you
me
ret-
nothing.
Are you certain?
As far as I'm aware, if you knew my father, you know he kept secrets close to his chest. And he
Wasn't a particularly
claimed...
chummy fellow.
No, he was not. And divulging secrets to his eldest daughter is not something he'd ever done.
The things I'm going to say right now might be difficult for you to hear. But again, it is my duty as the Lord Lieutenant Berkshire to ask such things. Did you return from India in order to take part in some sort of plot of your father's doing?
No, I returned from India because, 1, my husband had died, and 2, he wrote to me telling me he was sick.
Let's see.
He didn't say it in so... I have the letter if you'd like to see it. But he said that he was in ill health, didn't tell me how bad, I didn't realize he was dying. And he asked for me to return home.
If your father had been engaging in treasonous and dishonorable behavior, would you be an accomplice to him out of loyalty as his daughter. Forgive me for asking the question, but I must.
No, of course. I was his daughter, yes, but I'm an English woman first, sir.
It is good to hear. If your father were a villain and had perhaps attacked you or your son, and you defended yourself in self-defense, then it would not be your fault, now would it?
No, but no such thing happened.
Are
My
you
father might-
certain?
Yes. I think Sienna's like really confused
Just
at
like,
this
is
point.
this an out?
Right? Like just very confused. And my father was a lot of things, but he never beat me. He never attacked me. And he certainly never laid hands on Sebastian.
Baroness, we know about your father. Excuse me. And he like waves over to one of the servants. Could you please get a cup of tea? This might be very distressing. Yes, yes, yes. And like tea comes in and he hands you this cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Your father, it has been said, murdered your mother and your twin brother by poisoning them.
Well, 1 second,
And-
please. Is this
Yes, of course.
Is
It
this
is.
a
Upstairs
rumor
and
that's been spread
downstairs.
upstairs? Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And you probably were too young to realize this, but there had been in your father's prime a rash of murders in the village of peasants. And it has long been said that the ill use of the peasantry was a long-standing tradition of the Earl family. That your father was not just a bad father, but also a monster. One who ravaged the countryside for quite some time in his youth, doing all sorts of manner of terrible things.
Terrible thing.
Terrible things. As is the legacy of the Grey family. And with this last moment in his illness, it seems he is struck again, killing a small boy in the village, running down with a horse, it seems. And we could understand that not wanting to let such a thing continue on, that you might have taken matters into your own hands to remove this dishonor from the land, that you might not have acted out of anger from being removed, but out of duty.
I'm sorry. Are you saying that my father was not just a murderer, but a serial murderer? He did it repeatedly?
Yes.
I think there's genuine shock on Sienna's face. Just like, what the hell am I hearing right now? This is so much information in one day.
Yeah. I mean, haha, yes.
Yeah.
we do not wish to distress you, but you see,
No.
he did die to violence. And
excuse me.
this must be answered.
To
I'm afraid
violence,
so.
yeah.
I'm afraid so.
I know you said suspicious circumstances. I didn't realize it was violence.
Yes. And you see, Lady Sienna, we must speak to your son, of course, and the other guests of the estate, but I must say, I'm telling you this because you are a proud Englishwoman, and due to the circumstances of your father's reputation. You see, it is well known that you have a violent side to you. That you have attacked a statue of the Prince Regent. That you have committed multiple acts of wanton, reckless violence. And I It is no. And he just sort of looks to the count.
Yeah.
Just no.
Yes. And so perhaps if your violence towards your father was done out of self-defense and
Boss.
defense of the crown, then that might be an important mitigating factor. You see, it might, after all, be something honorable to have done.
Sir, I do not deny that I have had my angers, and I may have murdered a vase or two, but I can guarantee you I did not murder my father. If you would like further confirmation of this, please speak with Lord Trafford. He can contest to my whereabouts on the night of his death.
I see.
Actually, the day before and the day after his death, actually. The day of.
We shall speak with him.
Of
but
course.
I must tell you, we have very strong evidence that you were the one who did it. And we are trying to give you the possibility of turning this about. Unless you think perhaps it was your son who did it to defend you.
No, my son does not have a violent bone in his body. Which, that's a lie, but whatever. Anyway, I don't know
He
what
was
evidence you
indeed
have.
gathered and he was engaged in some sort of scuffle, some sort of violence against bandits or some such.
To defend the honor of a house servant. I believe
Lady,
any man here would do the same.
We would. Lady, I will give you some time to think about if you wish to volunteer confession to protect yourself, your son, to keep this under. Well, we do have the murder weapon, milady.
Sir, I understand you have a job to do. But again, as I said, I was not here during this time. I know my son did not kill his grandfather. I have not said a single lie here today. I have told you of rather unladylike behaviors that I have had. I will not deny them. You've got nothing but the truth from me, and I will continue to do so. I did not murder my father.
After we finish our questioning, we will come back to you, milady.
Of course.
You are not allowed to leave the estate.
I
It's a
understand.
dagger that says, Lady Sienna Grey Renwell's dagger, carved into the hilt.
It's like there's can't say how he was killed, but I imagine the killer would know.
I'm sure they would.
So, do you have an idea of anyone besides yourself, Count, who might have done this?
Anyone who is in the will reading?
Is there anyone here at the estate who is an expert markswoman or marksman?
Not that I'm aware of.
Besides yourself?
Aside from myself, yes.
Yes. Well, those are all of our questions for the moment. We are convinced that you are not part of your father's treason. Hopefully. Please, do stay close, and if you wish at any time to confess anything to us here, we will protect you, because we would understand.
I appreciate the sentiment, sir.
I'm so sorry for this messy business.
Indeed.
Please, they stand.
Mm-hmm. She'll stand and leave as well.
Who has a vignette? who has a visitation they'd like. Lindy called. Hers. Who's next?
All right. Fuck it. I'll go.
Please. I'm ready.
I would love to
Who's you?
have a conversation with Solange.
Mm. Oh, best buds, Jamal and Solange. Where is
Yes.
this conversation happening?
Indeed. Where is it happening?
Mm-hmm.
I would say, if we're allowed, to be out on the garden grounds.
Look,
Okay.
house
Casual
arrest for
walk.
people who are nobles.
It's don't leave
Yes.
the grounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
know what I
just
mean?
a casual walk.
Yeah. And like you have acres and acres. Like I'm just saying, like house arrest for nobles is very different than what would happen to poor people. I'm just saying, it's 1818. You know, like you're
I
like,
thought it was
oh, this
1811. We're in the first Regency year.
1811. Yeah.
1811. Pardon me. Go on. Pardon me.
And so, out on the grounds. For the moment, Jamal almost looks pensive and sober.
Oh, the horror.
I have not seen you look like that since many years ago, dear Jamal.
Solange, I have not been completely honest with you about the truth of why I've been here. And I suspect at some point it will come out either by rumor or something of the sort. So
Before you tell me, do you still have some tobacco on you? I feel like I'll need this before we go back in. Okay. She'll basically like ask him for the light, you know. Take
yes. I will indeed
Ready?
ask how you are doing. But I have built up the courage to speak this, so
I am listening. This is my courage.
Earl Grey was my father.
Yeah, that thing nearly drops. She just catches it. Uh, oh, that explains why we had conversations about South Africa. It makes chronological sense.
Yes, he and my mother apparently were a thing.
If we had eyes on us, I would say I see the appeal, but I imagine, I mean, I saw his portraits when he was young.
He was a monster. I am glad that he is deceased now, but I did want to at least have him know that I was his son.
And
Maybe he did, maybe he did not, but we will never know at this point.
that is true. I'm sorry. You lost much recently.
Yes, but now I must have a new purpose for being here.
I thought your purpose was to marry off our dearest
Nafisa,
Nafisa.
yes.
Yes.
Well, now I suppose part of my purpose is to marry off myself.
Ah, yes. That old problem. You and me both, friend. You and me both.
Are you upset by his death?
I would have preferred it after I married him. Yes.
As would I.
I was hoping for more political sway here in England, more ability to assist the court. I'll need a new English husband. I liked him. He was generous for what it was worth as a host to me, but he did not sire me. I did not know him intimately or was raised by him. My perspective is different. I saw him for the status.
And would that be your next move, to marry someone for this status?
Oh, Jamal, you know I do adore the new ideas of the romantic movement. It is beautiful, no? But you and I both know romance is for, well, those who are not like us.
Indeed. Thus, I must ask you, there are several eligible bachelorettes, let us say, on the estate at this point. Do you think I should speak with any of them? Perhaps Lady Imogen or Lady Saoirse?
The why either of them?
They are eligible, and perhaps, in the case of Lady Saoirse, there is still some status of nobility.
Sienna.
Sienna, I'm sorry.
Too many S's.
You know.
Yes, it truly
Imogen
is.
Imogen is a tutor. You know, it's not really-
Imogen is just attractive.
Still
I like
available.
nice face.
I'm sorry. Doesn't somebody have a crush on Imogen who's not Jamal? Oh,
Mhm.
I just thought in case audience members forgot because I didn't. Go on.
Yeah,
I
Solange has not shared this with Jamal. as
No,
far
she's
as I
only
know.
just go, oh, isn't she pretty today? Like, you know, that
Yes.
sort of stuff, like fangirling kind of. Just a moment on Sienna. Is she not your sister? Based on what you just revealed to me?
It is not so big of a deal.
I would
The status
highly.
would be more worth it. And she already has a son.
Yes, but have you seen the portraits of the Spanish?
Oh. Oof.
Oh, those you don't want that Habsburg chin.
Listen, I would prefer an arrangement where I can continue to be myself, if you understand my meaning.
I see, and perhaps I have misjudged Lady Sienna, but she is she has the sensibilities of the Angleterre. She is stuffy, and I think if you were to attempt an arrangement, you would find yourself stuffed with a hole in your chest. Lead, perhaps. Just like the statue.
Yes, I suppose that would be a less than desirable situation. But I do rather like young Sebastian.
Yes, he is very pleasant, is he not? I do envy him. We are of the same age, but he's so much more carefree.
Perhaps that is what you need in your life.
Oh, my friend, I am but a pawn for the games my family plays.
The child is a baron.
the child is in love with. Well, he has good taste in women, but have you
Not
not
anymore.
heard?
I have, but it is. The desires of a young man can be very fickle. You throw the right thing in front of them, and the situation may change drastically.
Yes, but have you read the books that Imogen gives him? He is so interested in the new ideals. I understand they are enchanting. Love. Oh, and of course, the story is about tutors these days. It's rather scandalous. I wouldn't recommend Imogen.
What is this love thing that they speak of? I do hope so that my sister will find it, but it does not seem to be for me.
I do not know, but I imagine it's feeling happiness when you see the other person happy. It is odd. There's no word for happiness in my language, but
This is
here
why you
it
must
is.
seize the moments of happiness. This is why I drink. This is why I may have relations with the older house staff at times.
I have heard stories. I try my best not to prod, but is that really true?
I do not understand why you would not just accept it to be the truth.
Well, my friend, however you see happiness is up to you.
Perhaps you should seek more happiness in your time as well. I understand that things work a little different from the ladies, but secrets can stay those ways.
We shall see. My aunt is apparently arriving today. She's the one who originally
And so is my
suggested
mother.
the Earl. Oh,
Oh.
perhaps is that why you're not drinking?
No, I think I will drink more than enough to carry me once my mother gets here.
Perhaps you should get started.
Yes. I am sorry that the things did not go to plan.
And I'm sorry to you too. Nothing seems to go to plan recently.
Did the officers talk to you, the constables? Ah, yes, it seems so.
Yes,
I assume that they asked you if you murdered the man.
they were very rude, yes. If I
don't
wanted
understand
him
what
dead,
they
I'd have him
think.
dead after I married him.
Exactly. Yes, well, he's dead now, and we shall have to take these situations for what they are afterwards.
An opportunity, perhaps, for both of us.
Yes. Opportunity knocks, and so does the alcohols. I think I must answer.
A call I will join you in.
I am glad you are my friend.
And so am I, Jamal.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I have my visitation. Imogen is called next.
Oh,
Yes,
hold
they
on.
should call
I gotta-
Sebastian Renwell, but they're gonna call Imogen next.
That's
They'll
cool.
get to Sebastian.
That's cool.
And also Jamal. There's some people they need to talk to
That's fine.
because
I
of
mean,
mysteriousness.
I gotta be able to turn on this real fast. And you know, back, yes. Yes. I'm here. No,
Mistress Imogen, if you would.
certainly.
Yes, I am the Lord Lieutenant here at Berkshire, the second Earl of Radford, and I understand that this might be a very scary situation for you, but we're going to have to ask you a few questions.
Of course. Anything I can do to help.
Yes, and some of these questions might upset your delicate sensibility, but we must ask them.
A handkerchief at the...
Ah, good. So, the first question we must ask is, how aware are you of the things happening in this estate?
Well, less aware than I would like. That's the honest reply.
Are you aware of where Lord Sebastian Renwell was last night?
Last night.
Was he with you?
No, we
Or the
don't
night
usually...
before?
don't usually conduct lessons at night. The lighting is very poor for reading. Usually we play.
So during the evening of the death of Earl Grey, you were not with Lord Sebastian Renwell.
I was not.
I see. You know, one
She's just
thing
thinking, did they hear those rumors too?
They did hear those rumors. They absolutely did.
Were you,
That is absolutely true.
Were you,
Mhm.
doing the the past couple nights with Lord Sebastian, perhaps, maybe?
Lord, as we say, you know, one thing that is someone like yourself, a tutor who has the entire run of the estate, is that we find that tutors tend to know more than many other people do about the comings and goings of the estate.
Well, I'm not a doorman, but I do what I can.
We have heard many a thing about the Baroness Sienna Renwell and her temper.
Have you?
Yes, we have. Isn't that right, Count?
Ambient. Yes. Yes, we have. We've got quite a bit of poor faces and all. Oh, well.
Have you anything to say about that?
Well, I myself have never found, myself personally, the ire of her anger. Nor have I actually observed it being directed at any one. On the rare occasion. Creep out, poor vase that... Though I suppose I'm a bit more used to dippers in Ireland running a bit higher by old accounts. Lady Sienna is quite tame.
Yes. Now, you see, in this estate, there are two foreigners here. The fiancée of the
Lady
late
Montfort?
Earl, yes, and Lord Jamal.
Ah, yes, Lord Balfour.
Yes. You see, if something untoward would happen to the Earl, it would be a natural assumption that anyone would make that a hot-blooded European continental would have done it. Obviously, that would be the obvious assumption some would make.
I see.
But we have heard that the Baroness Sienna had no love for Lady Solange of Montfort. And if the Earl had died, well, then people who are not good investigators might look towards the Lady Solange, and that would be quite convenient for the Baroness Sienna.
But I can say that their opinions mattered greatly on matters of home decor and interior design, but there didn't seem to be any open, at least, animosity. The mutual ignoring of each other.
Mistress Imogen.
Yes.
The reading of the will.
Oh,
The
yes.
new will. The room, we are come to understand, was full of all of the close family and nobility and you.
Yes, that is correct.
That you were mentioned in this will, specifically you.
I did find it a bit odd, yes.
Yes, could you explain why that might be?
That is an excellent question. In the will, I believe it were something along the lines of, I was to be given my severance pay. I suppose perhaps he could have been concerned in the event of his death that I contest my contract or the renewal thereof.
Now, I'm going to have to ask you a question that might get you angry, but due diligence and all that?
Certainly.
It's not just continentals who are known to be irrationally angry and violent, also the Irish. So, as an
I'm well
Irish
aware.
person who might have been fired, would you have killed the Lord?
Of course not. You would set a bad
Understandable, of
example for
course.
my students.
Yes, yes. It's not really believable that some sort of salt of the earth type, such as yourself, would be able to murder a noble, so we did not actually entertain such an idea. But we did have to ask, of course.
Of course not. I wished no death upon the man.
That is not, we have not heard any rumors to counter that you had any ill will towards him, and apparently you have a good relationship with your charge and the family. So there would be no reason that we could imagine that you would do such a thing to disrupt that. So
I'm glad to hear it, my lord.
yes. Quite. Unless, of course, there were any objections to you continuing to be the tutor that might have caused you to... How might Lord Sebastian Renwell feel if you were to stop being his tutor at the request of his father? Would that get him angry, do you think?
Young Sebastian is a quite well-meaning and good-tempered lad. I think perhaps he could bring it up into discussion, but I don't think it would be anything he would get angry.
I see. Have you...
He's much
In
more
your
one of to
time-
talk things out.
I see. Yes, that was perhaps one of our concerns. Have you at any time seen any evidence of... I'm going to say a few words that might distress you. Make sure you have tea at this point. Yes, you are not a lady, so you're a little bit more hardy. Your constitution's a bit better working as you are as not a noble, so you most likely will not faint when I say this, but
Thank you, my lord.
you're welcome. You are not aware of any evidence of treason on the part of Earl Grey?
Evidence of treason, and
Yes.
I look taken aback, but I don't
Yes.
faint because I am a
peasant.
salt of the
Yes,
earth
go on.
type of woman.
Yes. That's right. A salt of the earth type of woman.
I just-
Not so peasant, but yes.
Yes, I just clasp hand and go, goodness. Well, no, I found absolutely no evidence of treason.
Right. But there have been rumors about the Grey family, and
I have heard some of these rumors, to say.
yes, and people in the Grey family might want to hide and cover up any sorts of evidence of treason. And you being so close to them, might you have seen or heard anything at all?
Well, it seems that, from my experience, that Lord Sebastian and Lady Sienna honestly probably have no idea about anything of that nature. Earl Grey might have. He seemed a bit mad, mysterious, didn't really talk much about things, and no one was allowed into his office. So,
Yes.
but evidence of treason, absolutely not. I found nothing of that sort.
Yes. Fortunately, it seems as if this generation of Grey is continuing on with the long-standing tradition of Greys of questionable violence.
Goodness.
And he never was violent towards you.
No, not at all.
All right.
Everyone in this house has been more than kind.
Yes, as is understandable. Now, I want to thank you, but I must bring up one last thing. And please,
Do I need my tea?
well, yes.
Oh,
you might.
goodness.
This is going to be somewhat upsetting and scandalous,
What,
and perhaps a bit much for anyone's constitution.
what a cuppas would be alright.
You see, the Earl did not die of natural causes. He died to violence. Yes? But that is not the worst of it.
Goodness, no. Was it gratuitous violence then? That's not the worst
We
of
have
it.
heard a bit more about his will.
Oh,
It seems that he left everything, including the estate, to his valet.
really?
Yes. Why might he do that? Would you? I could not ask such a question to the ladies.
Of course not.
Such ladies could not handle such an implication, but I understand that you, being a salt of the earth, could handle a bit
yes.
ruder implications. So, why might he leave the estate to his valet rather than his daughter or grandson? You know.
Well, I can't say no anything certain. That I wasn't very close to Earl Grey. But he did seem rather close to his valet. You know, being a valet, they obviously had to spend a decent amount of time together.
Yes.
Although it did seem perhaps they maybe took a bit long to do certain.
Yes, yes. And well, now that the Earl is dead,
We could-
theoretically.
You know, and the Earl was always very paranoid near the end. He was always wanting his bed sheets changed.
I see. Yes, we were
Must have been
concerned
some,
about
must have
this.
garnered some type of germ anxiety. Cleanliness.
Yes,
What else could it have been?
yes. Indeed. We are so pleased that you spoke to us, Mistress Imogen, because such discussions would not be something that aristocratic ladies would be able to even hear without
course
fainting
not.
dead away.
Yes, certainly.
The sensibility of ladies, but you know, that is why any good empire needs all of the classes working together. The upper classes to rule, and of course, the middle classes to teach our children and to uphold morality, and the peasants to work the fields. I want to thank you for your service to the crown.
Just doing what I can, my lord.
Yes. Thank you. You know, you do a credit to your Irish ancestry.
It makes me so happy to hear.
You do. Well, yes, you know, I think we might be sending in the Lord Sebastian. If you might tell your charge, we need to speak with him.
I'd be more than happy to. You. Lovely day.
Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. One moment. He gives you, like, a guinea.
I'm ever so grateful, my lord.
Ah, of course.
Walk out, and Imogen, well, suffering under her mother most of her life, walks pretty quietly, but there's a click-clack of the heeled shoes as she leaves the room.
Hi, I have a quick question, though.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. You have not monologued yet. It is you and Lady Solange who have not yet monologued.
This is true.
I just feel that's really inappropriate.
Maybe it is. I love inappropriate.
I have a monologue to do as the facilitator,
Do.
and I would like to use it on you right now.
As I'm being sent off to go get Sebastian.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, the heels are click-clacking on the floor on my way out, as most ladies do, but Imogen doesn't typically. She steps ball heel to be quieter, more demure and quiet and dainty-like and overlooked. But no, she is click-clacking her way out of this meeting room. Because that is all she can do in protest.
Upper class British nobility. They're so great. So progressive.
Oh, a whole guinea. That's just so insulting. Free guinea's a free guinea, though. And I will take it. So just, I think that's what her first thought is. Free free guinea's a free guinea, and everything in the inner monologue is said through the teeth. Free guinea's a free guinea, I'll take it, but damn was that fucking insulting. I mean, not just to me, half noble blood, technically all noble blood, technically more noble than Lady Sienna Renwell, but just to women in fucking general. They're not going to just faint at the drop of a hat. We might pretend to sometimes because they think is so frail and it benefits us for them to have that image at times, but it's just so damn frustrating all the rest of the time. That's just, well, I don't know if I should feel insulted or flattered that I didn't think I did it at all whatsoever. I'll take it as flattery. It's the only way I can take it right now. Otherwise, I will blow a vein in my face, and that would be most unflattering. So, it had to have been flattery. Gosh, I hope I said enough to help them dissuade off of Lady Sienna and Lord Sebastian, as I do not think they did it. Frankly, I don't care who did it. It's probably Heathcliff. Heathcliff probably straight up fucking murked the guy. I don't know. I haven't heard anything otherwise, but, whatever. Good riddance. Being just what an insulting amount. And just puts the coin in the pocket. Sebastian, why did he have to send me to get Sebastian? He's not going to want to see me. Found out I'm his aunt. It's very awkward. I thought about not telling him. I did, but I just... Oh. Saoirse said I should start living for myself, and I've decided that is what I'm going to do. I like Sebastian too much to lie to him forever about that, so I had to come clean. Well, let's just get it over with. I'm pretty sure he hates me now, but what's new? Most of my family does. Maybe at least my sisters won't. Just fucking whatever. So tired of it. I'm gonna find somebody who actually likes me. That's it. Gonna find him. And then I find Sebastian. On the note of someone who actually likes me and looks at me and is like, oh, he liked me. No! Bad thought. And, okay.
So spicy. It's some Thornbird's business right there. So the thing is, we have two more people here who need to choose their visitations.
That is true.
But we have to go to break first.
Oh, we break. I gotta go
It
break
is break
first.
time. It's
oh
break
man,
time.
it's already. I'm
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. And then we
spicy.
have to have the other interviews.
Yeah, I'm sure
Of
those
which-
will go great.
Yeah.
Whee! Oh, I'll be
yeah.
back on break.
Yeah.
We're back. Woo 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 woo
Hello, everyone.
woo.
We're in the middle of our novel phase, visitations. So we have two people who have not yet had their visitation. Nugget and also Snow, do one of you have a visitation you would like?
Yes. I would like to do, as Sienna, my visitation with Solange, please.
Where?
That's an excellent question.
Whose
I
wing?
imagine.
Yours or
Ooh.
hers?
So the power play would be to do it in my wing. However, I think Sienna would probably go to Solange, knowing that it'd be the power play to have her come to me. Would willingly go to Sienna, and I think I don't think it's expected. I don't think like Sienna wrote a note being like, hey, can we talk, kind of thing. I think she just goes to the parlor door and just knocks and waits for an answer from Solange.
Come in. She's just like looking like shows like thing.
Yeah, I imagine Saoirse opens the door.
Yeah. Who's coming to
And-
see me? No one sees me. Other than maybe
I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think Sienna even acknowledges Saoirse, just kind of like walks in. Like she owns the place, because I mean...
Yeah.
You also don't know that Saoirse is your
No,
half
you don't-
stepsister.
Half
Saoirse's-
step, yeah.
Yeah.
Not related to me, but related to my
Half
half-sister.
stepsister. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means you could totally date Saoirse and have it not be a problem. Wait,
Yes.
it would probably still be a problem. It is 1818, but go on.
Oh, that's
No,
true.
it wouldn't be a
1811.
problem, actually. It'd be fine because Queen Victoria said, go ahead.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
1811.
1811, yeah.
Mhm.
Which accent? Who? I'm Sienna. I'm British. Okay, all right, here we go. Sorry. In different mindsets, it's confusing sometimes. Sienna comes in, and I think she like gestures Saoirse out, who leaves. Um, um, I was wondering if we might have a chat.
Uh, of course. I gave like such a like the nod, like I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And after she goes, she'll gesture. And to what do I owe the pleasure?
I believe it's time that you and I had a conversation about certain things, if you don't mind.
I believe I am in agreement. She will like she'll like kind of shift like the like they're among ladies here. Will like
Right, yeah.
put off
Yeah.
like the
The facades kind of drop a little bit. Yeah.
we appear to be in a situation.
Yes, situation is a good word for it. I don't believe I have made it a secret that I am not a fan of yours.
That is understandable. My very position put your son's position at threat. Well, until a few days ago.
Right until recently it was. I do regret that my father's choices put a rift between us. I would like it to be known that I am not. I do not dislike you as a person. I, as you said, dislike the threat you pose to my family, specifically my son. I don't understand, and I don't really think I'll ever understand the arrangement that you had with my father. You knew him very differently than I knew him. But I do respect that it was his wish to marry you, at least until a few days ago. I believe, and this is probably a bad choice on my end to reveal this, I believe that the constables are under the impression that I murdered my father.
They're implicating you.
Yes, they made that very clear. They repeatedly tried to get me to admit that my father was violent and that I might have killed him in self-defense, either my own defense or my son's defense. I was not even in the estate when he died. I have not told anyone, but I remarried, and I was several counties away, getting married and having my wedding night. Pardon the crude admission.
Congratulations. May I ask to whom?
Lord Trafford.
Oh,
Yes,
that is good. Very close.
yes, it's a marriage of convenience and one of friendship. Lord Trafford and I, when I came back from India, he was a sympathetic ear, and I to him. And before this whole mess, actually, before the Blossom Festival, he asked me to marry him. I was hoping that, again, please forgive me. I'm essentially throwing away all propriety I've ever been taught my entire life telling you this, but I was hoping that I would be able to live my life as I see fit with my father's inheritance, with what I would have inherited when he passed. I was hoping that Sebastian's future would be secured, and that I, as a widow and as a woman with my own inheritance at that point, would have been able to do as I please, because I have never been able to do so in my entire life. With my father cutting me out to the will the way he did, I had no choice. As I said, Lord Trafford was a friend, and he offered me a way out, and I took it.
I understand. We all must play our parts to our family, and you did what you must for your station.
Yes, I did. And I think in doing that, and I should have known this from the beginning because I was married off at 16, and I know what that's like to someone that I did not want to marry. I did in the beginning, but after. Anyway, I understand the position that your family put you in. Probably better than it, well, probably the same as any other woman in the town. I don't have a lot of regrets because I don't think I've done a lot wrong. That probably says something about me, but I do regret how I have treated you in the past, and for that I would like to apologize. You can accept it, you don't have to. I do understand I have been rather cold to you. I don't quite know why I came here other than to say that, so there's that.
I would say in return, the only thing colder than an English beauty is a German one or a Prussian one in our timeline. You are forgiven. I did not hold it against you. I understood. To you, I'm an intruder. And I didn't think it was you who did damage to the sculpture. You would not risk something like that to the family.
Yes, that was an unfortunate incident. Um, it's hard to find good help these days.
I understand ever
Mm.
since, it has been so difficult. We cannot even find good French girls for the parlor and for handmaid duties.
Yes.
But we're not here to talk about idle gossip. We are here because there was I'm sure you're in agreement that there's been a murder in this house.
Oh yes, there has. And
I do not know why the men keep dancing around the topic, but
it's very English of them. They think that we are dainty flowers who cannot handle anything, and if we hear anything of the sort, we will faint and injure ourselves. So it's
Of
a very
course.
English thing, and I think it's just a man thing in general. I imagine it's not so different in other countries.
Of course. Why do you think I have all this on? She's like just tear streaked.
Yeah. Yes, we do all have our part to play, unfortunately. But that I will not deny that I have a lot of anger. It's something that I personally have been dealing with for quite some time. But
It was not you.
thank you. I don't have murder in my heart. I might have anger in my heart, and a lot of it, but not murder.
Oh, come on. Murder for a woman would not be so unrefined.
It wouldn't be so brutal if, honestly, if I'd done it, I'd used poison, but
There is no sophistication in this.
no, it's just so dirty. Just literally dirty. You get blood everywhere. Just think of the mess. Those poor maids
I
would have to clean it
understand.
up.
Yes, well, whoever did it, there is a very interesting thing I've noticed. Public opinion has very swiftly turned against House Grey, all of a sudden. And
Yes.
rumors of things that came decades past have suddenly bombarded my ears. They're old enough to grow whiskers.
Yes, some of the things that those constables were talking about, I'd never heard. Granted, I know I've lived in India for over half my life, but I know my father, as distant as he was not a violent man, and murdering a child is the last thing he would do.
And he was very sick. He barely had time and energy for his time. He... You know of these relationships, yes?
I've heard, yes.
It's very good male friendships, yes. You
Yes,
understand.
yes. I do understand. We are all allowed our proclivities.
Yes. And he barely had the energy for that. How could he ever kill someone?
How could he? He hasn't ridden a horse in years. How would he have been able to get on one to ride someone down? I feel like these constables really aren't thinking this through very well. It's very
They're
convenient.
lazy. They have a story. They want to put you in it.
Yes.
Another role, no?
Yes, that is a lot in life, is to play the role.
Well, there is
Whatever it
hope
is
for
they make
us
for us.
yet. Lady
Oh?
Renwell. My aunt is coming, I believe later today. And she is what I think both of us aspire to be, a wealthy widow with power and money to her name.
Yes, that is the dream, is it not?
Someone on our side would not try to cast at least an innocent woman into suspicion. I hope.
I hope.
That said, there is a problem for me here. I was
Yes?
hoping you could help. Of course, I will do whatever I can to make sure to speak for your innocence, and of course that of young Lord Renwell. I ask that you help me find a good husband.
Oh,
I have no doubt my aunt has other prospects in mind, but I do need to marry an Englishman for more influence in the English court. I bring with me old blood, titles, and some wealth from the Empire. But it is not enough, because right now England is fighting against Bonaparte.
yes.
And so, to make sure suspicion is off of our name, so we can maintain our loyalty to the crown, I do need a suitable husband. That was something that Lord Ray understood.
Yes, that is. He is all about finding a suitable match that hopefully I have better judgment than he did.
That's
I'll
what
see what I
was
can do.
hoping. Thank you.
I do know Sebastian is what, like a year? 2? How old are you?
I'm 18.
Solange? 18? Okay, so yeah. I do know that Sebastian is 2 years younger than you, but once this whole mess is over, he's a good boy. That's always an option, but of course I do understand if you would not like that match. I could definitely look at your prospects elsewhere.
I could have a talk with him. I imagine he's going to be very upset regardless, but a talk, perhaps, just to see
Yes.
how he's doing, at least.
I don't think that's a bad idea. Perhaps be his friend, and then maybe more will happen.
But before then, I do have some tea from the Empire. Would you like to have some with me?
I would love to.
This means I get to have my next visitation, which is with Sebastian. I get to talk to him before Solange does. Sebastian has been invited to speak with the Lord Lieutenant and the High Sheriff. Ah, Lord Sebastian. And they hand you a cigar and a snifter of brandy, and everything is, very collegial and boys clubby about the whole thing. Because, obviously. Lord Sebastian, it's good to see you. I'm so sorry for your loss of your grandfather. I hope you're bucking up well in this time.
A man of my stature must do what needs to be done, I suppose.
Yes. We're going to have to ask you some questions. So please be prepared. This is no disrespect to your station as the Baron of Renwell, which we very much do respect. After all, we're all noblemen here.
Indeed.
You see, we have... First, we must ask you, did you kill your grandfather to defend your mother?
No.
No, good. All right, then. See, we have to must speak frankly with you.
Yes, please.
Due to the many of the irregularities of what has happened with your grandfather, the Crown is planning on taking back the estate.
That would be unfortunate.
It would. There are other options.
Other option.
See, your grandfather left the estate to perhaps a servant. We would need to get some of those documents, but that is highly irregular. If we accuse this servant of killing your grandfather, that would be convenient in some ways, but the evidence does not point that direction.
Which way does the evidence point?
Lord Sebastian, we need to discuss some politics.
Some politics.
Yes. Please be prepared for some things you may not know. The Grey family has a long history of being, well, it's only spoken about in circles in the men's club, certain clubs. One day you'll be inducted into them and such, but...
One day.
Yes, one day. But the Grey family has always been great hunters and a bit aggressive in their use of justice. And it has not always been pleasant, but it is the Lord's right and duty to do as they will with their peasantry. And
Indeed.
your grandfather has been somewhat overzealous in his desire to do whatever he wishes with the peasantry. But when he killed his wife and his heir through poisoning, that was a bit too far. We couldn't prove it, but
So that
he was
is
a villain.
allegedly, if I'm using that word correctly.
Yes, but your grandmother was poisoned, as was your... I suppose he would have been your uncle, as a baby.
But you need proof for such things. And
Well,
I am
No.
aware that words do carry some weight as rumors and the like spread amongst both the nobles and the peasants.
yes.
But we still need proof of such things, if I'm correct.
Proof enough.
Yes, proof enough. But Lord Sebastian, this is not really quite the problem. The problem is people will not stand for the various injustices and violences to continue. The death of Earl Grey is actually quite convenient. I'm so sorry. He
Mildly.
was, yes, sort of person whose ignoble actions would need to be punished. Conveniently, he has been punished.
Thoroughly.
Whoever who has punished him would be seen as a hero of sorts, if done in the appropriate way. There may be a way to save your mother's inheritance. You see, Lord Sebastian, we do have fairly good proof that it was your mother who killed her father. And
No.
yes, I'm afraid so.
There's... I know my mother. Much better than you all do. And while she has her moments of getting a bit angry, which, given the situations that she's been through, I don't begrudge her that.
Or was it?
But
Yes, those
my mother
Vossers.
would never kill anyone, let alone my grandfather.
That is a thing that you would say because you're honorable. You're loyal to
Very
No,
honorable.
it's a thing that I am saying because
Yes,
it's
yes.
true.
Well,
There are
Sebastian-
many people here that could potentially plot against my grandfather, but my mother is absolutely not one of them.
You see, we would not normally share evidence with the fairer sex or those not involved, but as a noble, we can tell you this. He was killed with your mother's gun. And she is the sharpshooter in this estate.
What a crack shot, if you...
Yes, a crack shot. This could be turned
Since we're speaking,
in a positive way.
what do you mean?
Well,
It's all about PR, isn't it, my lad? Public reception.
exactly. Yes, as the Count says. Yes. If your grandfather was a villain and not a victim, and then if his killer was a good English rose, protecting her son,
Dignity
and-
of the house.
the dignity of the house, well, then it wouldn't really be a crime, would it? It would be a
Self-defense.
virtue, self-defense, a
Heroic.
virtue.
Yes.
Heroic. Yes, and if he was quite mad in the end, well, then perhaps his
She did seem to
will
be a bit
wouldn't.
mad.
Well, no, him, the Earl. If he was mad, well, then his will
Yes.
could be perhaps contested,
Very much so.
and then yes, and then the peasantry would be.
Mortified.
They would. Yes.
Drop the
yes,
taxes
the
a bit.
council-
They would
Yes.
get over it very quickly.
Yes.
There's nothing worse
Yes,
than the
indeed.
pitchforks and the torches, you know.
Oh,
It's
well,
dreadful, that. Yes,
Wouldn't
yes,
it be
yes.
better in this case
Hmm.
if it was me who was the hero?
Lad, do you wish to take this from your mother?
I don't wish to take this from my mother unless we are well insulated from consequences. You see, I love my mother, and I will not let anything bad happen to my mother. And if we were to say that my mother killed my grandfather, then even if it was in self-defense or defense of the honor of our household, she would never be forgiven because she's a woman.
Yes. Well, we did
Me,
think that perhaps
however-
the. Hmm.
If I was to say, found out my grandfather was a evil bastard, excuse my language, but
So
no,
we
women
men
here.
can hear such language.
That's all right,
we-
yes.
ensured that our estate was safe via my hand after having a tiff, if you will. Perhaps that would be a much better story. The new lord of the Grey Estate defended his honor.
Well,
And we could potentially, roll back some of the things that my grandfather did, the raising of taxes, the
yes.
alienation of the rest of the people here, maybe.
Yes.
I don't know
yes.
all of the hows and whys, but I mean, we would
Well,
want these things to go quite smoothly, wouldn't we?
yes. Well, if it were you, see, women are hysterical. Their wombs just travel about the body and they just do
Just
who
move
knows what.
around.
Just move around at
Prone to
any
bouts
moment.
of hysteria. And if your grandfather was quite insane, I mean, the hysteric versus the insane, it's quite easy to
Ooh.
brush off.
Yes. But if it were you, it would have to be perhaps a duel, which means you would need to have a count, perhaps, who was here to witness. the
Witness and duel. Yes.
We could potentially find someone to make that work.
Yes, Count, did you see a duel between these two?
Well, I think I just might have.
Well,
A lord
could-
would absolutely reward the people around them.
all right then. We will have to let it be known that your grandfather is the full weight of his villainy. We will have you perhaps make a duel and defend the honor, and this might mollify, as our good count says, mollify the peasantry.
Peasants-
the
there's
throwbacks.
peasantry.
Yes.
Right, all riled up a bit down there right now in the town. I would
Yes.
get her off the grounds. Not that you can't
Oh,
sit in
no,
house arrest, but
Blossomfall.
even if you could, I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying?
Well, once this is all settled, perhaps we can do something to appease them and make things a little quieter and safer.
Yes.
Even.
Yes.
It is
Well-
very important, you know. If your mother,
Yes, yes.
she was to go into the town right now. It
Oh,
would not be pretty.
No, it's terrible business. Well, that's partly why we're having you under house arrest, isn't it? To keep you all safe from the angry peasantry.
Yes,
We could tell you this, of course.
yes, we
Of
would never
course.
tell the women. They would faint.
No.
They might never recover.
Sips the brandy.
Yes. Well then, we will contest this. You know, we looked into it a bit, and my understanding is the only witnesses to this will were those who were named in it, which, by the way, invalidates the will completely. I don't know
Yes.
why
Bit odd.
your grandfather was so incompetent.
Truly
nor
a
was
testament
his
to his
lawyer.
insanity at the
Indeed,
moment.
there
Yes,
were
indeed.
people in the room that didn't make any sense, such as like Lady Imogen and
Makes no sense at all, really.
his betrothed.
Born friend. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, his lawyer must clearly be incompetent for doing such a thing because that's actually not
course.
done. Yes.
Purely
But it
incompetent.
makes-
Not done.
No, not done. But easy for us to roll it back, and if you might take your mother's blame, that would be a very honorable thing indeed.
Indeed, I think it would.
Bad.
Now, I'm going to just say this for the moment. This is going to need a resolve token for this to be done. As opposed to me tagging your mother's negative reputation.
Oh,
and go
I
violent and
absolutely
arresting
was
her.
planning
Yes.
on spending a resolve for this.
Please do.
Thankfully, Sebastian has two.
Yes,
Indeed.
yes, please. We will take that then. All right. Before we accept it, I want to just make sure that the mother does not want to interfere and her son taking her blame.
I don't think.
Excellent.
I don't. Yeah. No, I don't think she does.
Could I have?
I don't think she can.
Could I have
Mm.
Can I spend a resolve token for me to have heard this as
Everything.
Solange?
Oh.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
You were going to go talk to
Creeping
Sebastian.
outside of the door.
Because I
Yeah.
was trying to go talk to Sebastian.
Yes.
I was
Uh-huh.
pacing around a little bit nervous about
Yeah.
everything, and I was like, "Oh God, he's 16. Oh,
Yes.
he's
Mm.
He's 17.
or 17."
Since you're doing that, I would take that resolve token.
Yes.
He's
I would
16.
take that resolve token.
Yes. It would go to Sebastian, yes.
16? Okay. I was 17. I heard
It said
that.
17
He's
on the
16.
sheet, so.
No, he's 17. He's 17.
Oh, you're literally 1 year younger than me. Oh no, I'm like, oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
God,
just
it's
1 year.
17-year-old. Ah,
Yep.
he's a
Mhm,
dumb.
mhm.
According to my
Uh-huh.
18-year-old brain.
Absolutely, Solange. Here's everything. Everything. Yep. Well, all right then. We'll just all that done. We'll have to do a little bit of politicking and all that, but
Yes,
well
good,
done. It's
good to have you,
Is it- yes.
Lord
Oh,
Sebastian.
Yes. Oh, yes. By the way, Count, it's been lovely working with you, and I will say that Prince Regent is impressed with all of your activity here. Oh,
Yes, Count.
Sebastian,
Done quite the job.
would you like to play some billiards?
Oh, yes, I could go for a game of billiards right about now.
Yes, shall we? Come, Lord Sebastian.
Just one game.
Oh, of
All
course.
right. Yes, it's good. Yeah. They're gonna smoke cigars, drink brandy, and play billiards in the most irritating way possible for like rich noble people. And I feel like it's a lot of backslapping and like treating Sebastian like a noble and a peer, worthy of respect and power.
Sebastian both
No.
loves and hates this at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You might, as Sebastian's going through these steps, remember some things Imogen might have told you or counseled you about as a tutor for social situations like this. Yeah.
As much as he hates it.
Mm-hmm.
Imogen told me I should do this or at least take a sip of the drink or like so on and so forth.
Yep.
And it seems to be going well for you.
It is going well for you. They think they're so happy. Solange, Snow, it's your visitation. You're our last one.
After witnessing the horror,
Mhm.
that was what I
And this can
eavesdropped
happen,
on.
of course, after Sebastian is done with
Of course.
the boys. I mean, the men doing power
The men.
plays. Yes, the men.
Yeah. Yeah, I there's not really much of a smile. It's like one of those like weak, watery, like very like waned kind of like smile at the two gentlemen. If you would please, can I please borrow Lord Renwell to attend with me to go pray, of course, for the deceased soul?
Of course, we already had 2 games of
Yes,
billiards.
of course. Yes, it's quite good. And Mercy Beaucoup, lady.
Oh,
so-
yes.
Yes.
Oui.
Wait.
You
Bonjour.
I see. Since
Yes.
you're making so merry, despite the time so recent of death,
Celebration of life.
Yes.
you have learned something about the mystery
Yes.
of.
It's quite confidential at
Perhaps.
this moment, but I
Yes.
believe we have made a breakthrough of sorts, and
Yes.
winks at
Yes.
Sebastian.
Indeed.
Yes,
Of
I think
course.
the truth is so close.
I will pray then that is revealed. Lord Renwald, if you please.
You two, please go off.
Yes, we'll
Yes,
set up the
yes,
third
of
game
course.
for just the 2 of us. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Down to
Thank
brass
you.
tacks.
Gentlemen,
Thank you,
I
Lord
appreciate-
Sebastian.
Thank you, Lord Sebastian. You are
we'll
perhaps the best Grey. We're very proud of you. It's good to have you be one of us.
he's struggling not to like beam at that, even though
I'm struggling not
he
to fucking
doesn't
glare
think-
daggers at them.
he's just like,
And you two head out of the drawing room.
To probably actually the prayer area where it is quiet.
Hmm.
And as soon as they're alone, she just looks at him. You cannot possibly believe they have your best interest at heart. Do you?
of course not, but what's that to you? I don't mean to be rude, it's just why do you care?
Many reasons. But if you must have me lay it out for you, it is simple. I agreed initially to marry your grandfather. Yes?
Yes?
And even though he is dead, his reputation, the reputation of House Grey, is tied to mine.
We.
Yes? Those 2 idiots talk very loudly, you know. I heard them merrily laughing away as they will be handsomely rewarded by the prince for such a swift investigation, while the prince himself rejoices as the youngest gray heir has just made it So easy for the crown to take away all this land and money. They played you like a fool.
What else was I supposed to do? They were going to use my mother.
You wait for a solicitor. You hire one. You're Lord Renwell. You have your own money. Your own inheritance from your father.
Lady Solange, since you've been honest enough to have been listening in on a conversation that truly has nothing to do with you.
It has
Let me-
nothing to do with me?
Shh. Let me be honest with you for a moment.
Very well.
This place is doomed.
Doomed.
Is cursed. And my grandfather has been involved with why this place is cursed. And when hell rains down upon it, there will be sides that have to be chosen. I
Right.
want to be on the winning side.
Okay. Allow me to remind you of our current world history and as being currently made. The winning side was the side of the peasants down in France. Do you really think that these upstarts have your good interest at heart? Will they truly help you when you win?
No, but they're useful tools.
Tools? Do you really think? Did their flattery move your heart just a little? Be honest with me. Did you think you moved them?
No, but I think they put their interest over anything else.
Yes, and that interest is at the detriment to yours. Your mother has fought me for months. Why? For you. And you've thrown it all away. For what? This doom and gloom? What are you, Catholic?
Listen. The longer this investigation goes on here, the more problems it will cause.
But you heroically saying, "Oh, I did it, Crown Prince, come take all my stuff," is not going
Do
to
you
solve
think
anything.
this was a heroic thing? My grandfather was a fucking bastard. He treated us all like toys.
You do not.
And the only way to be successful in this world is to do what my grandfather did. So perhaps I will be nicer to the peasantry, perhaps cut their taxes after my grandfather raised them so high to make them happy for a little while. And maybe I have to pay a little bit extra to the prince.
I don't think you.
None of us will
hear
die.
me, Sebastian. You have just falsified your testament to admit to a murder.
There was no murder. There was a duel. Honor was at stake, Lady
Yes,
Solange, and I
I-
defended my family's honor.
You are ruining your family's honor by tarnishing his reputation. Sure, you do not like your grandfather. I don't think anyone liked your grandfather. But do you
I don't
know
have
what
to
is
do
more
much to
important?
tarnish his reputation. Apparently, it's been tarnished by
Do you
more
not
than a
think
few
it is
people here.
strange that it has appeared so suddenly? Someone is trying to plot the downfall of your house. Something, I do not know why. But it is all happening so conveniently, so fast. Anytime anyone falls for anything, it is because they do not stop to think.
And
Look
Lady
at the
Solange,
history book.
perhaps you should be on my side.
And what side is that?
The one that will win.
The one that cuts his own hands just to what? Bleed all over his own cause?
Everything is so black and white with you people.
You're the one who talked about doom and gloom and winning and losing. That is very black and white. Please help me see these shades of gray you're so interested in.
I think I should go. I'll pray for you.
As will I. Boys.
Good day, Lady Solange.
I have a resolve token.
Oh.
And this resolve token is going to have to go. People can say no, but this is for an Imogen resolve token.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
what for?
Well, Lady Solange said this has happened somewhat suddenly. Someone would be, plotting the downfall of this family. Who could do that? I would like to give a resolve token because the person it would most negatively impact would be Imogen.
Hmm?
For Lady Solange to find the paperwork that notes what happened and or the letter. Basically, I would like her to find evidence that you are actually the actual Gray, and
Oh,
it
interesting.
might look like it was you. You know what I mean? Like if somebody's showing up to like all of a sudden take down the family, who might that be? I feel like it, now it may not actually be you, but it might look like it were you if it turns out she found out you were an actual Gray.
For
And
Solange
there's
to
enough
find
evidence
out?
floating around. Yeah, for Solange to find out.
The paperwork that I've been looking for so long, for it to be found,
Yeah.
finally, by
Yeah.
someone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Solange.
I mean, it's better Solange than some other people, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Sure.
she's suspicious right now, and it's gonna make you look bad. It's gonna make you look suspicious.
But she has a crush on me, so she'll be conflicted. It's fine, let's go.
Okay.
I'll take that resolve token.
Please, I'm giving it to you. You have a resolve token from me.
I'll take it. Thank you for finding that paperwork, Solange.
Solange.
It's in the chapel, isn't it? The place none of us real Greys
Yes.
would ever go to. Or
Yes,
the
it
fake ones,
is.
it would seem. All the Greys are like,
Yes.
religion.
Yes. You are in the chapel. After this really frustrating conversation with Sebastian, right? How frustrating is that conversation? And you're like, I feel like y'all are being set up by someone, but who could set you up and why? Who could ever know that, right? And as you're there in this chapel, you're there and you see like a underneath one of the pews is there's a Bible, but there are all these little Bibles there, right? And there's this one kind of stuck underneath the pews. And if you go and you look in it, you look inside and it has been hollowed out. And there is a number of interesting bits of, it's like a diary that was hidden and some paperwork. And the diary is of a woman who is writing about the revolution, the uprising, the rebellion, and how she's writing about how the servants have risen up and have slain her husband. And she explains, and the words, it's exactly like what happened in France, right? But it's written by a noble, not the peasants. So there's a bit of a, they are these innocent people and they don't know what to do. The valet, the butler, the head butler killed her husband. And they're going mad and she has escaped. with her 2 children. She's going to like leave. Like this is like the last thing she's writing before she leaves. And she will escape, and she speaks of her 2 children, Heathcliff, and their mother, whose name I don't think you've given me.
I don't think we
It was
have a
an S.
name.
We said it was going to be an S.
So it's gonna be an S.
name.
I don't think we should. Maybe they should both be H's so that we have one less S to keep track of.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Heathcliff and Helen.
Yeah, she sounds like a Helen.
Yeah. Heathcliff and Helen.
Helen.
And right, that they must escape, right? This terrible thing. And that not only do you learn that the current Greys are actually, from your math, you're thinking it's probably Earl Grey's father who did this. Before he was born, she's not old enough. But that also, she swears she will get revenge. When the time is right, she will send a child or a grandchild or a great-grandchild to reclaim that family, her family estate. She will not let the peasants stay in their home, drinking her, eating her food, the amount of and you can tell she's afraid, she's freaked out. She's also real angry, right? I mean, her husband was murdered, right? And she clearly, oh, Nana, she clearly will be back. I'll be back, she says. Oh. If you had asked if there is someone, and I'm going to tell you this because I am the worst, there is, in this, right, this is sort of diary, it's like her book, it's got a bunch of her, it's got like her signet ring, it's got a bunch of her effects that she hid there because she could not take some of these things with her if she was caught with them. She has to just, I know this is really upsetting, she had to disguise herself as a peasant. Yeah, she had to disguise herself as a peasant to get out, and she's like, "That's all right because I have people in Ireland who can take care of me." And she talks about fleeing to Ireland, and there's this like a little a minuet, like a little painting of her and her husband and her children, and she looks a lot like Imogen. There is a family resemblance that is not subtle.
I think Solange will, after she reads everything, her face is, a mask of composure. She will close it. And I think she's going to very calmly
If I had a
go
monologue
back
token right
to
now.
her room. And I think she's going to hold that book and stare at the fireplace with everything.
I need to point out, Prince, you have one, and she has not monologued yet.
Yeah, I was waiting for the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. I need to know.
Yeah, what the hell is going on in her head right now?
Okay. I think as she's reading, first it's like, oh, this is very interesting. Oh, of course, another revolution, ruining lives as always. Oh, of course, the peasants. Wait. You mean the valet killed? And did I nearly marry a peasant?
Yes. Sorry.
Yep.
Oh, I cannot wait to tell my aunt. Wait, but what if? Does she know? Would she really ruin our family name like this? No, this can't be. I don't think so. This cannot be. Should I even tell her? I don't know. If this gets out, what will happen to Lady Sienna? Lord Renwell is fine, but that not make her common blood? She has a husband, but I mean, people do not annul marriages that quickly. But if this gets out, House Grey will. But Imogen. Imogen came, and that's around when the rumors started. Is it all her? But she's so nice and kind, and why would she? I should, if this is the case, do I? This is between what is just and what is correct, but both? Oh no. It is like Socrates looking at the rows of the different gods all over again. I should destroy it. No, I shouldn't. I think that's basically back and forth. Just I should break this. No, I shouldn't. Maybe I should. She's just standing and staring like.
Sleep on it.
And I believe that is when the carriage arrives.
Oh,
And out of this carriage will step two women. Two women with a lot of money. who could not take their carriage with them from overseas, and so took the carriage from Reading together. Jamal's mother is here.
exciting.
And also Solange's aunt is here. And those two ladies were in a carriage the entire trip from Reading here together. And as they arrive, right, these two women, could you describe, Nugget, what Noémie de Montfort looks like?
Yes, so I imagine that she is kind of a little bit like a carbon copy of Solange. Just her hair's gray. And she is dressed kind of so simply, but you can tell it's elegant. It's high quality fabric. She's wearing just casually just wearing diamonds and emeralds and you know, rubies, all of that. She does walk with a cane. There's a bit of a limp that she's got that she needs the cane for. She has a very I don't know how to describe it. So her face is everything offends her. She just has just kind of like a mildly disgusted, but like in a polite way,
Resting
kind
bitch
of
face.
Yeah, resting. She's got an RBF. Yeah. And she is just yeah. That's what she looks like.
And Nandi looks like older Nichelle Nichols. With like she is wearing, unlike everybody else, she is wearing cloth from South Africa, and it is full of color and pattern. You've got yellows and greens, and she's got this wonderful head wrap, and she looks like a breath of fresh air amongst a lot of gloom. But she also, and then she's got like gold, right? She's got this gold jewelry, and she is she's got her arm linked with Noémie as these insane powerhouse women have arrived at the estate of Blossomfall Park to go and see Earl Grey, I imagine, and their family.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, because you know, the village does not yet know that he's been murdered.
No, he's dead. Surprise!
surprised they've kept that one pretty secret. Actually, a lot of people don't know he's been murdered because that was something they did not want to put out. And as we close for the evening, somewhere in London, there is a solicitor. And in his hand, he holds these sealed letters. Letters sealed from Earl Grey. He taps them, he looks at them, and he thinks, well, this is not anything. Hopefully these will not have to be delivered for quite some time because the Earl Grey will live quite a long time. And he puts the letters in his folder and he puts them into a cabinet. And he doesn't know yet either because no one has told him yet. He has just arrived. And that's when there's a knock on his door.
That's a game.
He goes, yes, please come in. Oh, who are you? And that's where we're going to end that scene.
Yeah, he gets ganked by Heathcliff. It's okay, you can...
Really? There are resolve tokens that decide what happens to him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to hang it out there and y'all can do your resolve tokens as you wish. But I believe that's where we're going to end it.
Oof.
You know, next week is Sunday for the servants to
That'll
find out what they're
great.
up to. Yeah. And, you know, it's interesting because we do have an epistolary phase, and I wonder what letters we're going to get access to or not.
It's after our
I
Sunday
should say,
phase.
it is after our Sunday phase. Well, reputation first.
Of course, of course.
I should say this because I do want to make it worse for you all. When he looked at those letters, there were 3 of them.
Oh, who were they addressed to, Trooper?
Oh, I shouldn't say because that'll just make it
that
so
would make
worse
it
if you
so
knew who it was
awful.
for. Yeah, if you knew who they were addressed to, then you would just be like racked full of like anticipation. So I guess I'll just have to tell you.
Oh.
To Solange. To Sienna. And to Imogen.
Oh. I don't know if I like that.
Oh, well, but, you know, those letters are currently hidden in a folder amongst a bunch of folders at the moment. Anyway.
Yeah, those are going to get out. I'm just saying. There's some resolve tokens that I'm
get out.
holding
There are resolve tokens.
that will certainly ensure that.
Yeah,
Someone
those
will
will have to be resolve tokens. There'll have to be resolve tokens to get those letters.
Oh, yep.
You know.
I got a resolve token. Yeah, maybe I'll get a letter. I don't know. I have a week.
Just have to get in touch with my uncle.
Yeah. As a
Yeah,
matter
my
of fact.
uncle too. Oh my gosh, actually,
Yeah.
actually my uncle. So.
Yeah. You know what? Please, I think we can end it right there because next week we're
spicy.
gonna have Sunday reputation phase.
Ooh, boy.
And then the epistolary phase.
I love
Then
that
the-
for us. That going well. So why don't
By
we
the
go
way-
around?
But I
Yeah?
just note, like, just a mechanical situation, just for
sure.
mechanics. If someone, I don't know who, but if someone were going to introduce a new major character,
Yes.
that would be in the upkeep phase where that happens.
Oh, like when we're having our phase next week in the upkeep phase.
Yeah.
Well, when
Yeah.
Yutsai's back.
Yeah, conveniently.
Oh, that is very
when
convenient.
Yutsai's back
Yeah, cool.
would be.
And we
when
get our
that would
Sunday
happen.
because his downstairs character's still alive too. So
Yes,
that's great.
that is
Love
correct.
That. Wonderful.
Mhm.
Anyways, we're gonna go around and say who we are, where we can find you, and your highlights from tonight's game. We're gonna go counterclockwise as per usual. So let's start with our facilitator, Trooper. How was tonight for you, you pot stirrer, you?
Oh, I had a lovely time. I really love the representation of like justice, you know, in this time period where people are just like, you know, so let's do a backroom deal. What do you want to do? All right, yeah, because that's you know, look, if it were not nobles, it'd be different.
Could be.
Worse, probably, but
But
you know,
different.
but you know how nobles are. They're the worst. 1811 is still a bad time, actually. Just like in terms of what people who are nobility can just do. So that was exciting. And I think my favorite was how each person dealt with that in their different ways, right? How Solange is like, oh, I see exactly how this is going. We're going to do this. And how Sienna's like, yeah, I totally wanted him dead, but I didn't kill him because I have an alibi, but didn't say what it was. Love that. Like, there were all these, and I loved how Sebastian's like, ooh, I get to be the patriarchy? Ooh, I guess? Yeah? Yes? Ooh, neat. Thanks, Granddad. Like, there was just a lot there. And then Imogen, who's like, you think, I see what you think about me. Great. All right, sure.
Just hold on to that.
Just gonna, here you go. Here you go. I'm just gonna, I loved how everybody sort of dealt with that. And yeah. I also just really enjoyed knowing that people who know rumors rather than necessarily fact, how they imagine things, you know? Gonna just say, some people, guess what? Granddad was shot with Sienna's gun. And today's what? Wednesday? Friday.
Yes.
Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, you can find me on my channel. Last Friday I did a solo adventure in Call of Cthulhu called Shadows of the Old Subway. And this Friday, I'm doing the exact same adventure, but in GURPS. So you want to sort of compare those two scenarios. I died last time. Then you should come and see me on Friday. And let me see, I think what else do I have going on? I've got Monday is the last episode of Overgrown on the Wandering Inns channel on YouTube at 2 p.m. Eastern. And I think that's all my RPGs, right?
And next Wednesday, here.
No, Sunday 2:30 p.m. Sorry, Eastern. On my channel will be the third
yes.
and hopefully last part of Seasons of Death Summer, where our forensic accountant is going to try to find out what's going on with the vampire conspiracy before they die. Okay, that's me.
Well, hope
Also, I love
vampires
this
win.
cast. You were also juicy, and so juicy.
Someone who's very juicy. Solange, how are you tonight?
I will say that intro was on par with Nuggets. Like
Thank
in terms
you.
of blurs, that was blurs as a yeah. Oh,
You're welcome.
I feel like this entire session was blurst. It was really good. It went from, last session's like 100, and then went, how can we go from 100 further? How do we stress you out even more, Like, I feel like I went bungee jumping today, which is pretty great. So, favorite moments. I really love that lieutenant man. Like, when I say I love him, I
Love to
love him in
punch you
the
in
way
face.
I would love, yes, but specifically, I would love it if someone did the thing that apparently someone did in my high school, which was play lacrosse with his neither regions. And I have some strong feelings about that man. They're very
See, the
like
different-
lacrosse shaped.
Yeah. I think one of the things that would probably be really bad because unlike women whose womb just travels around their body when they
It
get
moves
hysterical.
around.
Yeah, men's body parts just stay where they are. So when you hit them with a lacrosse, it could really hurt because
Yeah.
yeah. Just the
Yeah.
other reasons just don't travel throughout his body.
Yeah, according,
Yeah.
I appreciate some popping sounds there too, but whatever.
Science!
Science!
1811 science, yeah.
Yes. But, whatever. That man, ooh, especially when he was talking to Imogen, I was like, oh. And the way that he treats like each one of us, right? He was able to be sexist and racist in exactly a way to cater to us. And I was like, you. Anyways,
he really tried. I mean, he wants to,
Good.
because you
gotta cater
French
to the
people,
investigation.
you know what I mean?
mhm.
Yeah,
To
but
the
also, I
suspects
mean,
you have.
absolutely, and you have to treat everybody
As they should be.
appropriately gross.
Yeah.
Appropriately gross. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I absolutely did love, however, though I will say, Prince, you really committed to being a 17-year-old boy.
Loved it.
Like
So much.
You
It was so good.
committed. Like you're like, yeah, I'm patriarching this so good. I also love and hate my granddad. Like I'm gonna be just like him, but also I'm gonna go against everything he was. It was just, oh, the teenage angst was on point today. Gosh, also just saying Sienna just like killed every scene she was in, but but anyway, I can start highlighting, but I'm mostly traumatized, honestly. How dare you, Trooper? As for where to find me, hopefully next week as usual with our non-patriarch back to hear about all the more slander we've done to him post-mortem.
Yeah.
So many bad things said about him. So many bad things.
Oh yeah, like it's every session. I love that for him specifically. Yeah, that's basically it, unless you you find me on your local shoelace distributor. Other than that, I'm just here looking forward to all that juicy bait that's been tangled in front of me.
Speaking of dangling bait, Dimples and Dice, Sebastian, Jamal, how is it for you?
You know, it was a time. Jamal had a wonderful conversation with his bestie about how to move through things and deal with their family members coming in. And then on the opposite of that, Sebastian and Solange had a very contentious conversation amongst the many contentious conversations that Sebastian has had on this day.
I think that means they have to get married by the end, because I have read these novels. I'm just saying. I've read them.
No, yeah, honestly, y'all, like, there's a lot of fantastic moments. I loved just sitting with the scene with Sienna and Imogen and Sebastian all together. Yeah, there was a lot going on there. Even after Sebastian left and y'all coming to terms-ish with things, to Sienna going to, I'm gonna go stew for a few days so we can talk some more. The Count and the Quill and the cuntiness. Fantastic. Fantastic. Trooper, you're a monster. That is all. I love playing with y'all. Just saying. This is fantastic. I can't wait till it happens and see how more messy this can get once letters start going out and we bring in the downstairs folks. Yeah. Shaka has things now. Anyway.
Look, Shaka would be a good suspect because he's getting left everything in the will. It's just that
he's not actually.
Well, he's not, but that's not the point. The point is that may not help. Well, that may not help resolve the situation to the nobles' desires,
Yeah. Poor Shaka. Poor Fanny.
Yeah. Because Shaka doesn't get to be a hero if he kills Earl Grey.
Correct.
So
No.
Yeah. No, he gets hung is what happens, right? And that doesn't resolve the problem of the peasants hating the Greys right now. So
no, that makes things worse. Yeah. So
it does make things worse. Yeah.
Anyway, you can find me around the internet as Dimples and Dice on all the socials. As far as what I'm doing, I will be, as always, over on D&D Jordan Lee's channel for Ampistrano, D&D 5e campaign at 3 p.m. Eastern. But I'm also going to be doing a little play testing and a live stream for a game called The Crown, designed by Damon Van Hee, mind you. We're going to be doing a GM game by that over on Playmats Games. That's also going to be on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I will be very busy. You'll see a lot of me, and I am going to be apparently a god of terror in that game. So if you want to see me be a monster some more, come find out. That's going to be Playmats, the Playmats Twitch channel, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's
Wonderful,
all.
wonderful. Someone who's not a monster and is just a delight is Nagatosaurus, Sienna Gray, Redwell, Saoirse. How was tonight for you?
Tonight was fantastic. I freaking love this game. It's a hot mess, and it gives me all of the feelings that I'm here for. I'm Nugget. You can find me pretty much exclusively here on this channel. I don't really play anywhere else on Mondays and Tuesdays, alternating for D&D games, and then of course this game. I have several favorite parts. Solange being like, "What are you, Catholic?" Like,
I know, that got me good.
That got me pretty good.
That one fucked me up. I was trying to keep a straight
right?
face.
Oh, God. I was just in muted, cackling my head off. It was great. And I would like to say, Sienna did tell them to speak with Lord Trafford because she knows for a fact they're not going to believe the alibi coming out of her mouth. They have to hear it from a man. So she knows how this works.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And they will talk to him because they're probably gonna do old boy stuff together at some point in time. Like,
right.
oh, let's go play some whist and do
Yeah.
old boy things together. By the way, do you have an alibi? Oh yes, the Empire.
Yes.
You know, like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So she has an alibi. They just need to talk to her alibi. And also, if and when Sienna finds out about what Sebastian has done.
Or when.
Oh,
When.
the juice.
She's not gonna be happy. We'll just put it that way for now. But yeah, that's me. I freaking love this game. I agree. This cast is amazing. I love playing with you guys. I love playing with you guys in Cthulhu. I love it even more playing in this because I feel like we are way messier in this game than we were in that game.
Like you were trying to stay
pretty-
alive a little bit more.
Yeah.
and find
We were
out on
pretty
this.
Yeah, that one was
messy.
about
Yeah.
survival.
Exactly.
This one is
This
about
drama.
emotional damage.
Yes.
Yes.
Emotional damage.
Yes, and I am here 1,000 times over for the emotional damage. That's me. I'm excited for next week.
And speaking of emotional damage, that just leaves me, Imogen, who has a lot of that right now. Goodness gracious, my highlights. The Catholic comment really got me. I was just waiting during Imogen's interview with our sheriff fellow for him to bring up the Irish or hot-blooded. As soon as the hot-blooded was mentioned with Sienna, I was like, I'm just gonna wait for the Irish hot-blooded comment. And sure enough, it came, and I was like, there it is, boom.
You knew it was coming.
I
You
knew it was
coming.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I know what a lot of things are coming.
Yeah.
But anyways, just so many good things. I loved the conversation between Solange and Jamal. Thought that was delightful. I love how in this session Solange got to know like all the secrets and all the things, because like it's like we've kind of been taking turns a little bit on like who gets to. This week was Solange's week, which is great because you weren't here last week, so now it was your week to get all the info dump, and it was just fabulous. I cannot wait to see what you do with it, especially with your aunt now visiting. I almost used my sidebar, my visitation for Solange, because I was like, we should have a talk. But I'm glad I have it now, because now we really need to have a talk, and I think it's going to be great. So, just so many good things. I can't wait for next week for the Sunday group, the other downstairs characters, which is still me, still Imogen. But, it'll be great. I can't wait. Oh, man, so many rumors, so much drama, paperwork, new people. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little worried about Jamal's mama being here because Imogen has been told to live her life for her from her sister Saoirse. Earl Grey's dead, her mom is awful. Maybe she's hit the fuck it phase, and it's time to live her best life. Maybe be hoe around a little bit. Maybe I got a new desire. Maybe we're gonna try to work towards that, and I think people might be worried, or maybe they shouldn't be, but anyways, things are gonna happen, so thank you all so much for watching and hanging out. You can find us here next week for more reading between the lines, and it'll be really, really, really juicy and delicious as always. You can also find us, we had Ghost of Saltmarsh last night, on Tuesday, so not next week, but the week after we will return with that. But next week we will have Critical Role's Call of the Netherdeep, with a two-batch game, where we are deep in those nethers, and it's weird. It's a little freaky. Deep in that nether. There's some weird things going on. We're looking for Alan. He's hard to find. Maybe going insane. We don't know. And that's it. You can find me in those places on this channel. I can't think of anything else right now. So thank y'all so much for watching, and until next time, have fun, and play games.